Welcome, everybody, to another Beatboxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. As your good friend, Mr. BDA, flying solo for the moment. Glad everybody could be on board for this one. We've got a sensational show for everybody here. We're going to be talking about the upcoming Jamel Herring versus Shakur Stevenson fight that's going to be taking place this Saturday. It's an intriguing fight. It's not going to be an entertaining fight, I don't think. But in any event, we're going to be talking about it. Something that we have to keep our eye on. It's an important fight. Before we get down to the fun, however, let's get the business out of the way, fellas. You know the drill. If you want to donate a couple of shekels, you can certainly do so with the super chat. You can continue contributing with the membership program. That's always fun. You get a bunch of special tokens and a bunch of emojis. A couple of exclusive film analysis. But the most important thing is that you continue to like and subscribe and spread the BDA gospel. All right, fellas? Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Morny Valov, 3 of 4, actually. Officials can't even count. Official Scorecard Boxing Science, Omar E, Mark Doherty, Kent S, HSP Team AJ, Kid Top Skull, Michael Poe, Jay Perez. Shout out to GB Guthrie, Raiders 4821. Who else is in there? Scroll up here. Rich Keurig, Michael Poe. Shout out to Michael Poe. Shout out to Knut. That's K Knut. Chris K. DOG. The Boxing Lounge. Iron Fist. Iceman. Many more people to come up. Blue Collar Sports TV. Shout out to Blue Collar, aka Del Boy. Check out his channel. Check out Official Scorecard's channel as well to fulfill all your boxing needs. Gonna be opening up the phone lines as well. Curious to get everybody's thoughts on, like I said, the fight this Saturday between Stevenson and Herring. We also have Dylan White pulling out of a fight due to a shoulder injury. Unfortunately, that's real. We're not getting that fight for the moment. In fact, now there's a little bit of a controversy because they're saying that he might end up fighting Fury, believe it or not. And I think there's going to be some hijinks with the WBC now, perhaps a dispute. By the way, who's fighting on the Herring Shakur Stevenson undercard? Let me check it out here. It says Xander Zayas. All right. Recognize his favorite fighter. Versus Dan Carpensi. Interesting fight. Nico Ali Walsh. Whoa, he's already getting this type of billing. Evan Holyfield is fighting in there as well. I guess Charles Stanford. All right. Good, interesting little card. Try to watch all the fights. And what else? Oh, yeah, I'm going to be opening up the phones, like I said. And I'm also going to be showing you a couple of clips of what I believe is going to be essential between Stevenson and Herring. You know what? I want to say a little something about this fight. Do not go in there with the expectation that we're expecting a great fight. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's not even going to be Navarrete, Joed Gonzalez, which was a bit of a one-sided fight, but entertaining at the same time. It's not going to be that, fellas. If you go in there with that type of expectation, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be bitter. And you just might end up coming here and taking it out on me, poor BDA. Not going to happen, all right? So go in there expecting what we all know is going to probably happen. Shakur Stevenson is going to box off the back foot. He's going to look for counters. And if he's lucky, he might just score some sort of knockdown or a stoppage. More on that later. Okay? All right. Enough of me talking. Let me invite a couple of people over here. Start cooking with a little oil. That's the way we do it over here at BDA. Scalebender says this type of billing. Xayas is staying very active, says Official Scorecard Boxing. That's nice. Triple JJJ, shout out to Triple JJJ, says, howdy scoundrels. Yes, indeed. Howdy, indeed. All right. What we got here? Give me 2 seconds. I'm inviting a couple of people over here. Like I said, get a little bit of a party started. Like I said earlier, got a couple of clips that I've put together. So hopefully everything works out. We got Chief. Chief, are you available today?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. You gonna have time to chat a little bit today?
Yeah, I got time. I'm in the car right now, but I can still chat.
Fantastic, fantastic. Listen, we got the Shakur Stevenson fight coming up against Jamel Herring. Like I was telling the fellas over here in the chat, don't expect it to be a back and forth affair where they're going to be trading knockdowns. Like, what's your philosophy on going into fights where you get slicksters, where you know for a fact one guy is not going to throw that many shots, probably going to try to lure the other guy in? Like, should people prepare themselves to fight?
This is a purists fans fight. That's the way to sell that, and that's the way to put that out there, because some people really love the feinting and stuff like that. And that's the feinting, the jabbing. I don't think there'll be too much holding unless it goes to the inside. But aside from that, on the distance, there's going to be a lot of feinting, a lot of parrying, a lot of head movement, and a whole lot of foot movement. And if anybody really enjoys that, and some people do, then that's going to be a purist's. That could be a fight fan's fight.
But you know, Stevenson's not really even that much of a purist delight, because he doesn't throw combos. He throws.
So that's going to go back to the phone that we talked about before on the show of the. I don't know the right word to use, but the good old boys that get together around one fighter. The fans that really love Shakur are going to think that it's a great fight no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good point. If people that hate him are going to hate him, and people that already love him for some reason. I think it also has to do with the fact that certain people might root for the guy just because they like the guy or they relate to him. For whatever reason, they like him. So they're interested in watching this guy go in there, throw one shot at a time, bark while he does it, as if he's a chihuahua, and they're content with that. But I'm going to show you. I'm going to read you a couple of things. What happened in his last fight against Nakatalia, which he ended up earning a lot of flack for his performance. He said, after the fight, I apologize to all my fans. I didn't feel good tonight, but I did what I had to do to win. Now, whenever you hear a fighter say after a fight, I did what I had to do to win, you know that wasn't a good performance.
And they know it too. They know that the old Gil Clancy saying of, when did they look good tomorrow? So this is his tomorrow. Let's see if he can actually look good.
Exactly. I mean, it's all we were hoping for. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I already know what type of fighter he is. He's not going to change anytime soon. I don't expect him to. Rarely do you see competent boxers all of a sudden become more aggressive. There's been exceptions. Winky Wright, for example. I know you love Ronald Winky Wright. He was a guy that used to move a little bit more, and then all of a sudden he decided to walk guys down. Now, he wasn't a puncher.
Right.
He didn't end fights.
The movement wasn't... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. The movement wasn't the same, so he adapted his style to continue being successful. So I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. That's good. Yeah, essentially that was what I was trying to get at. I mean, that's he didn't really become all that much more exciting because most of his fights just went the same way. Him walking guys down, jabbing, then jabbing, then jabbing them. And it was a little repetitive, but at least he was being aggressive.
Right.
But he's an exception.
Well, he fought very much like a left-handed Winky Wright. I mean, not Winky Wright. We're talking about Winky Wright. Mickey Ward, late part of his career. Hands up high, work behind the jab, get in close, and then throw punches, whether it's body punches or inside shots. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, people neglect the fact that that's what Mickey Ward did to Rogati in 3 fights. But because they remember Winky Wright as the boxer, they don't like to acknowledge the fact that he turned into a very similar fighter. Now, Shakur's going to have to be around for a while to do that because Winky was well past 30 when he picked that up.
That's true,
and Shakur's only, 23 at that?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, 23, 24, yeah.
So it's going to be a while till he adapts a style like that, if he even sticks around past that. I mean, boxing's here today, gone tomorrow, like people like to say. So you don't really know what's going to if he's going to change, what's going to cause it, and if he can mentally adapt to that change that he has to make. Hagler used to be a little bit more of a boxer than people remember. They remember the Mugabe and the Hearns fight. When he boxed, I think it was Willie Monroe in the 3rd fight. I think it was Monroe that he fought 3 times, and he was on his toes, bouncing in and out, throwing combinations, and not like the Hagler that I grew up seeing.
Right.
But people don't remember that. Once he got to be the older guy, he turned into the Hagler that everybody remembers. So Hagler adapted that style because he didn't have those attributes anymore. Will Stevenson do the same thing when he reaches that point? But we're way too early in his career to get there, to get to that conversation.
Exactly. This is the first step he's got to making
Right.
a semblance of a career, of a world class career. Because, by the way, some people are, and it's I don't it's the type of people that share his skin color more than anything. Some of them already have him pound for pound top 10, which is completely ludicrous.
The top 10 is, I can't do one off the top of my head right now. There's guys towards the bottom that, let's, if he wins this fight, I'm not going to argue with at the bottom, but there's a lot of guys that after the top 5 have a lot of arguments to put in there. If he wins this fight, he's he's a two weight class champion. He's undefeated. Some people put the Olympian fact in there that I don't, because amateurs and pros aren't the same thing, but some people do. So he's got, if you judge that part, then he's an Olympian that's won titles in 2 weight classes, and he's undefeated. Okay, well, so's who's the young man that tested positive and they still went through the fight anyway? What was his name again?
Valdez.
Not Valdez.
Yeah,
Valdez.
Yeah, Valdez. Yeah.
So Valdez is an undefeated two division champion. Okay, well, if that's your criteria, then there's argument to put either one of them in there.
Exactly. I mean, look, it makes no sense, and I'm not even going to touch that one. Suffice to say that this is going to be an interesting fight because he's not in there with an easy touch. He's in there with Jamel Herring, 23 wins, 2 losses, 11 knockouts. Keep in mind, those 2 losses were a couple of, I think his last loss was about 4 years ago. He has improved since then. He's older than Herring. Than Stevenson. He's about 35, I think, 36.
And there's the other factor that might work in Stevenson's favor. He fought a very much smaller man in his last fight, Herring did, and basically sent a war horse to pasture, much like Tank may have done to was it De La Cruz? Anyway, when you have these light punching guys that are aggressive fighters and they make a career out of being in tough fights with no power, they can get old rather quickly. And so that's what Herring did in his last fight. But he's coming in off the confidence of beating a war horse. Question is that going to get confidence going to help his turn the clock back any?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's the big question. That's the, I'm not going to say the main question, but one of the big questions. Blue Collar Sport TV in the chat says Jamel Herring's win over Frampton is deceptive. See, he's saying what you're saying, Chief. Frampton was short and small.
Who said that again?
Blue Collar Sport TV, aka Del Boy.
Hey, Del Boy, Blue Collar Sport, right there, right back at you, buddy. I like what you're saying.
You better like what he's saying. Otherwise, you're gonna end up on his second channel, which is where he covers snuff films. So,
well, I mean, I'll have to call into that to be. But anyway,
yeah, choose your words carefully. Is all I'm saying.
I like what he's saying. I'm not. That's it. I like what he's saying, and because I do agree with that. It was Frampton was definitely past his prime, and he fits that category. It's just like when Rafael Ruelas and Jesus Chavez and those guys started to become gatekeepers. They were pressure fighters that were good when they were in their 20s. Their late 20s came up. They didn't have power to go with that style, and they started becoming gatekeepers. They couldn't beat guys because it took a toll on their body.
That's right. Yeah.
That's what happened to Frampton. That's what happened to De La Cruz against Tank, and that's what was that his name? Is that De La Cruz?
Who are you talking? De La Cruz? I don't know. That's I was trying to figure that.
Who was Tank's last fight?
Barrios.
Before that.
Before that was Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz, not De La Cruz. I'm sorry, I'm getting old. My brain doesn't always remember everything. Right. So Santa Cruz is what I was trying to say, not De La Cruz. Please forgive me for that slip. Anyway, we'll you talk about an old war host that didn't have a lot. Talking about an old war host that didn't have a lot of power, been through a lot of tough fights, and then he takes on a young guy that's much bigger and a power puncher. What's going to happen? Look what happened.
Yeah, man. I mean,
that's what happened.
By the way, shout out to Chris Cage's contribution via Super Chat. Says ESPN is pushing boring Shakur. It shows the desperation. Well, I mean, they got an undefeated guy that they took out right off the amateurs. They're trying to build him up, but I suspect that if at some point he doesn't start to deliver, they are going to jump off the boat. I mean, look, Mayweather was actually exciting, or could be exciting, when he wanted to early on in his career. Shakur Stevenson, even against the limited competition he's fought, has looked shy in there, gun shy, which
Yeah,
makes you wonder how he's going to
and
look against better opposition.
well, he may need a trainer to bring that excitedness out of him because that's what Floyd needed. He needed to get back with his Uncle Roger. When he was
Hmm.
with his dad, they were booing him out of the ring against Gorio Vargas, and
Oh
then
yeah,
he
yeah.
got with his dad. He got with his uncle and pitched. Regardless of what other outside of the ring activities may have been going on, he pitched one of the most beautiful performances of his career against Diego Corrales.
Well, it goes to show you, and this is what I wanted to read because Stevenson, after his fight against Nakatania, whatever his name is, Nakatalia, in his Nakatila actually, who is let's give I will cut Stevenson some slack. It was an awkward dude that he was fighting, very tall, and he could pack a punch. But Stevenson said, to be honest, I didn't really like my performance. I felt I could have performed a lot better. You had an awkward fighter throwing hard punches, and he knows how to grab and get away. You can get away with that one time, maybe even two times if people are feeling generous. If this is the way you're always fighting, don't expect people to buy the, well, I looked bad today, but tomorrow I'm going to look great excuse. It's a business. Like I keep saying, boxing is show business. Show me what you got. And if you don't show me what you got, guess what? We're not millionaires. We don't have unlimited disposable income. We will choose who we want to see and who we don't want to see. And if you get a network like ESPN, like Chris Kay said, they're getting a little desperate putting on this guy as supposedly some sort of star. And let's say ESPN starts running out of fighters, and that's one of the main stars they have. People are going to think twice about saying, do I really want to pay ESPN Plus to watch this guy? Do I really want to stay up until 11:30 p.m. on a Saturday to watch this guy run around the ring, scoring one shot at a time?
No, you're right. They won't, and uh, they may still turn it into boxing, but it won't be for him. Or they may just skip boxing on ESPN altogether and just say, you know what, I'm just going to watch Showtime boxing only.
Oh,
And so, well, I'm sorry. I mean, we know that I'm not the biggest fan of the PBC, and that's mainly what Showtime uses. But um, I would much rather tune into either Charlo than Shakur Stevenson based off of his last couple fights. Now, I like the kid. I think I know he's got some outside of the ring things going on like everybody does, but I think there's still a genuineness to this kid that's pretty good. And I've been wrong about people's character before, so don't hold it against me on this. But I think generally there's some goodness to this kid that, as character, that he can develop into be a fine champion as far as how he conducts himself as a fighter. That doesn't mean he's going to be exciting. And just because you're undefeated with multi belts under your and your collection doesn't mean that you automatically deserve to be a $5 million to $10 million to $100 million fight fighter. It's what, like you said, what can you sell? What can you bring people to want to come see? And there's only so many people that are going to want to sit there and say, is this the time Shakir's going to lose? I'm going to tune in and see. That only works with so many people.
exactly. That formula is not a sustainable business model. Besme Bermuda says, don't sleep on Herring. He beat a young undefeated fighter before. Remember Lamont Roach. Yeah, but let's be fair to Shakur Stevenson here. Though he might be boring, he's certainly not unskilled. I think it's safe to say he's a step above or a level above Lamont Roach.
And he's smart. He's young and smart.
Well, he's smart in the ring, that's for sure. Outside the ring,
yeah, that's what I'm referring to. I don't.
Right.
I'm not referring to this outside of the ring. So he's young and smart. So he knows when he's in danger, when he's not, and how to avoid the danger. And that's what makes him hard to beat, because you're gonna unless you're gonna go all out and sell out to try and get the win by beating him up, like a la Cesar Chavez. Then, if you're gonna try and match with him, then you're gonna be you have the deck stacked against you, because he knows what he wants to do. He knows how to do it. He knows how to keep you from doing what you want to do. So unless you make him sell out and go right at him and try to beat him up, I'm not saying you're definitely going to lose, but the odds aren't in your favor.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with Shakur Stevenson. You have to press him, or you have to be able to outbox him. And he's so quick. He does things wrong. I'm going to show you. But, he's so quick right now at 23, 24 years of age, however old he might be, that he can get away with it. A boxing god in the chat says, I'm leaning towards Herring. Pretty Boy was killer. Stevenson doesn't hold a candle to Pretty Boy. But, okay, let me show you something, Chief. I don't know if you can see. I'm not gonna play the whole clip because you might be driving, so I don't want to distract you too much. But if you watch the screen here that I'm sharing, there's something about Stevenson's. That's not it. Hold on. Something about Stevenson's stance that I never liked and which makes for the boring fights, and that is he fights leaning back. As you can see here, this is against Christopher Pitufo Diaz, good fighter. See how he's always on the back foot? He's got his weight on the back foot. Some trainers teach that. I was taught never to do that because once you're on the back foot, you got nowhere to go and your punch is just not going to sting as hard. Do you think he can change this? Or what do you think about that, this stance here? See here against Nakatila here. See how he's already leaning back?
Yeah, it's a good defensive stance when you can establish range, which he's done here. Because even when they try and follow through with the shot, you're taking away the power of their punch by leaning back away from it. Now, like you said, you can't parry off because all the weight's on your back foot. There's no weight on your front foot. You're no longer balanced. So there's a lot of problems with doing this. But he's developed into a style, especially being a left-handed fighter. What have I always said on your show? That foot battle. So if he's got his front foot in the way to where they can't really get to him, and he's got his weight on his back foot, they have to reach further to get to him, and it takes the power off the punch. Now, what it did do for Devin Haney, who kind of does the same thing against another orthodox fighter, is that's how Linares finally caught him and made him go on Queer Street for the last round and a half. Because he caught him when he was leaning back, he stepped all the way in, his neck didn't have anywhere else to go except against the shoulder, and it staggered him. It hasn't happened to Shakur yet, but, I mean, if he tends to move up and says, hey, you know what, I want a piece of Tank Davis, and they're both left-handed fighters, and he leans back like that and Tank catches him with his power shot, he's got nowhere else to go. That could catch up to him.
I mean, it's everything you say is correct. And it's very effective for him. I don't know if he fought this way in the amateurs. I'd have to rewatch those fights. But
not that I remember, but I only really saw him in the Olympics. After 2000, I kind of fell off on being able to keep track of the amateurs because all my friends had already graduated to the pros. So, and there was a lot of footage of him in the Olympics because MSNBC doesn't like to show boxing very often. So,
well, what I'm trying to get at is whether this is how he fought or not in the amateurs. This is how he's fighting now. And he seems to have made it work for him. He makes it very awkward. It's an awkward stance. Guys can't get to him. He knows how to take little step backs, as I'm showing here. And he can transition quickly there from that back stance to all of a sudden a shot. But it's a one shot at a time. See how as soon as he touches Nakatilia, whatever his name was, he stays in place. He does not go for an extra shot. And in a way, Nakatilia is doing the same thing he is, which is to lean back. This is why it was such an uneventful fight, because both guys had the same stance. But you have to wonder, though, that the big question is, if he does this against Jamel Herring, who is an experienced guy in there, despite the amount of fights he's had in the pros, can he get away with it?
Only if Herring, again, doesn't sell out. If Herring wants to mimic what he's doing, and Herring's also an orthodox fighter, is he not? I thought he was.
He's a southpaw, yes.
So it's two southpaws. Okay, so this can be one of the situations like I was referring to. The reason why I brought up Devin Haney was he was fighting another orthodox fighter, and that's when that stance didn't work. When you do a mirror image, it's harder to get that your back foot to land against a southpaw because you're facing the mirror. You got to punch further away to try and really get past their shoulder and everything, right? Their lead shoulder. When you're fighting a fellow southpaw or a fellow orthodox fighter, that's why Linares was able to hit Devin Haney with that right hand. He leaned back, and all he had to do was just turn his shoulders and follow through the punch, and he hit him. Well, Jamel Herring's a fellow southpaw, so he's not going to have that same effect of leading on the back foot and parrying away with his jab. Because there won't be the foot battle. There's not going to be the foot battle. There's not going to be the parrying of the jab. Now, how they're going to be able to adjust to fighting two southpaws is a question. But the advantage of being able to hit him with that shot when he's leaning back is going to be a lot easier for Jamel Herring as it is going to be for a right-handed fighter.
Yeah, because it also brings up the point that Stevenson has never fought, as far as I know, a southpaw. He might have fought southpaw, but he's never fought a southpaw of this caliber. That's for sure.
No, I don't think he's fought one in the pros at all yet. Again, don't quote me. I haven't followed his career tooth and nail like I have other people, but I'm sure in the amateurs he's fought plenty of them because he had a really long amateur career. So I'm sure he's fought plenty of southpaws in the past. Some of the concepts are the same, but now you have to study your opponent. Because
Exactly.
you have more time to prepare for one opponent. You have more rounds to work with. So
Oh, did we lose the chief? Chief, I think are you still there? Yeah, he's driving, so he might have driven under a bridge or something. Shout out to 100% X in the chat. Says facts, brother Hucker Mustang, but we know them brothers have to leave that demon so they won't fall victim to his master plan. I don't know what 100% X is talking about. I guess I can gather from the comments he's making. Can sort of form an image of what he's talking about. I am opening up the phone lines in here. So, fellas, feel free to call in if you want. Hold on a second. The phone line's open.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, man. Fantastic.
Yeah, I hit a dead zone.
You hit a dead zone.
Yeah, I go to the backwoods to pick up my kid from school, so sometimes I'll lose signal.
I see. Well, hold on a second. Give me 2 seconds here because I'm trying to put up the phone number. There we go. For
there
some
it is.
reason. Yeah, there is the phone number. For some reason, it wasn't showing up before. All right. Should I get rid of the pumpkin? Because maybe it's... Nah, whatever. It's Halloween. Why not? We got...
Exactly.
we got Recognized dropping by. Recognize you there?
Salute BDA. Salute BDA family.
How you doing? Listen, we're talking about the Shakur Stevenson fight versus Jamel Herring. I mean, at this point, it is what it is with Shakur Stevenson. You know he's gonna fight on the back foot. What do you think? Do you think he you should go in there with low expectations? What are your thoughts on that?
I have no expectations of that fight. So if I get a 6 out of 10, it'll be a win for me. If that fight turns out to be a 6.
Man, if it's a 4 out of 10, I'll be happy. Because of the styles of the fighters. Because the styles of the fighters, a 4 out of 10 is probably the most action we're going to get.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Man. I think he'll make it an interesting fight, man. You know, I think he could. He could make it an interesting fight. He's got some experience on his side. You know, he's been through what is Jamel Herring, like 30?
It's got to be 35. It's got to be 35, 36.
35, 36, yeah. So, you know, I like his whole boxing story in terms of, like, the guy's lost some fights. Looks like he got better from it. Look, I'm not naive. I know that when the matchmakers make this fight, they feel comfortable that Shakur Stevenson can win. The only problem with Stevenson is that he's such a negative fighter sometimes, right? Like, he gets into this negative vibe, and, you know, who knows? Who knows what could happen, right? Jamel Herring could, maybe he's experienced enough that he could put this kid in a dog fight or have him fight scared.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Is if he can actually sell out and, like, make him uncomfortable and just go at him. Because he's not going to have a lot to worry about. There's nothing in... all right, it's easy for me to say I'm not the one getting hit. I get that. But there's nothing in Stevenson's repertoire to think that he's going to give Herring anything to say, oh, man, I better not do that again. He might actually touch me. So if that's the case, and if Herring actually can take above a decent punch, which I don't think Stevenson has above average punching power, then he should be able to sell out, make the tough fight, and that's his avenue to try and win. That's what I was saying before.
Yeah, it could be, man. We're going to take a look at that later on. Shout out to Tommy Bermudez. Okay, well, he says Chief is driving in a real horror movie, real life horror movie. Boxing God says, I'm a new subscriber. Ring IQ mentioned you, so I decided to tune in. Well, thank you, man. Shout out to Ring IQ. for the shout out. And don't forget to check out Ring IQ's channel if you haven't already. If you haven't checked out his channel already, I don't know what's wrong with you. But shout out to him. Hey, let's go to a phone call real quick. 407 here. Hold on a second. Let me activate this. 407, you're on the air. 407, what's on your mind?
Not much. Y'all have been one blessed. I know some of you know me, some of you don't. What was I going to say? Honestly, this fight could be interesting, but I'm leaning towards being a boring fight, simply because they're both too patient. Well, we saw a little of Harry getting aggressive in his recent fight with, I think, Warrington, if I'm not wrong, which was a good performance. But come on, Warrington isn't where he was, and he was never really the highest of high levels. Yeah, he has that win over Nonito, but come on, Nonito was too small for that weight class. As for Stevenson, I don't like disrespecting fighters the way I'm about to, but he's a bit of a sissy. He even said he doesn't like to get hit, and that was after fighting Nakasalia. If you're too hesitant to take risks after taking a punch from him, then I don't think he's going to last that long, honestly, with the top of the weight class. Whether he moves up or, because I know he's trying to challenge Lomachenko, and a fight between him and Lomachenko will be suicide for him, no disrespect. Excuse me?
Yeah, you're still in the air, man.
Oh, okay. No, I just heard static. I'm like, oh. But, yeah, I think this is most likely going to be a boring fight. I'm rooting for Herrick, but I'm going by Shakur by robbery. And if he gets a dominant decision, congrats to him, but, yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think you meant Frampton instead of Warrington. Frampton was the one that got beat up by Herring. But it's the point. Your point remains. I mean, that's what people in the chat are saying too. That he sort of might be a bit of a mirage, Jamel Herring. And Bob Arum is a very wily character. He knows how to build up a B-side and feed him to the guy that he's really trying to push. So Herring could be that guy. He could be, he could be walking into an ambush, just like he was in Iraq, maybe. Maybe some sort of booby shot. You never know. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, listen, Brandon, thank you for...
That was wrong, but...
Well, he was in Iraq. I'm not making fun of it. I'm just saying he was...
That is true. He was there.
He was. And you know what? Who else was in Iraq? Gonzalo was in Iraq.
That Kelvin chokehold, man. Be careful.
Come on. All right, Brandon. Listen, we got to move on, Brandon, but thank you for your call. We'll catch you in the next one, all right, man?
Hello, Brandon.
It's not Brandon, it's Jerk, and you're confusing with another caller, but y'all take care. God bless.
Wait. It's who? I thought I heard you say Brandon. Who is it? Is it Jose Medina? Oh, he hung up before I could redeem myself.
Kind of sounded. No, I think that's not Gerson. Gerson. I noticed their speech patterns.
Well,
that's Brandon.
He was talking very fast. This is from Nebraska, Ohio. I was like, what? I don't understand.
I actually thought it was Gershon for a second myself.
If somebody in the chat, if somebody in the chat could clarify, I'd really appreciate it. Because now my OCD is kicking in. I gotta know who that was. Hey, speaking of veterans, we got Gonzalo dropping by. Gonzalo, you there?
Hey, what's up, Mr. Gredier?
How you doing, man? Hey, listen, are you gonna be rooting for the veteran, or are you gonna be rooting for Herring just because he's fighting Shakur Stevenson?
I guess I'll root for the veteran since Shakur Stevenson's not exciting. Boring, dude.
It's good.
You can tell me by the enthusiasm in his voice, huh?
Yeah, I didn't even know if we wanted to do a show about this. I'm not expecting big things out of this show, like in terms of drama or whatever. But it's an interesting fight, man. It's a compelling fight. We also got
Uncle Pete.
Uncle Pete, yeah, I was gonna say Uncle Pete in the house. He wanted in. Uncle Pete, are you there?
Give me a minute, Phils. Let me step out of here. Fucking.
Now, Pete, be honest, man. Are you gonna be watching this fight, or are you gonna be watching Alabama versus fucking I don't know who over in the football?
Yeah, I'll be watching college football, but I always watch the fights live. I switch over. That's what my regret was last weekend, man. That's why I was a little bit pissed off with Mikey.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I like recognize his. He should be a marketing supervisor for Top Rank.
He probably is. Huh?
Stevenson, Herring, just come in with low expectations. Don't expect much. Thank you.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing, man. That's what I'm doing.
And Aaron's voice. It's for fucking free. What the fuck do you want? All right. Jesus.
I'm going in here expecting Shakur Stevenson to do the one shot at a time thing. I think I get the feeling that Herring leaves his chin up in there a little bit too much, and he might get clocked in there at some point. Maybe even stop. You never know. But I'm expecting Shakur Stevenson to win. Now, there is that small percentage that maybe Herring pulls it off. And that's why I'm watching this fight, because I'm a degenerate. I'm hoping something happens. But if it doesn't, I'm not going to be disappointed, because this is the image now I have of Stevenson. He's going to go in there. He's going to bark while he throws one shot at a time. And that's it. I'm not going to beat myself up over it.
What weight is he fighting at right now?
130.
Super middleweight?
Super featherweight. What's the matter?
That was joking. That was for Boxing Chief. I'm just joking. The thing is, the thing is, like, here's the thing, right? The fight's signed. It's scheduled. It's going to go on. Who's going to watch it's going to watch it. The college football is fucking banging this year. No one can deny that. I mean,
watch some college football.
It's going fucking crazy this year. But look, here's what I can tell Stevens, right? The guy's 36 years old. Take note. You're 23, right? The guy's 36. He's going to be behind one step. He's not going to have the same pop. He's not going to have the same endurance. Take note, man, because you need to get some fights in. Get some fucking fights in. Now, with regard to his style, it's his fight to look bad. You know, when you set a guy up like this and keep feeding him easy fights with long layoffs, you're inviting the rust, and you're leaving open underwhelming performances. So, if this happens to the best of them, Errol Spence can tell you, he should have got Mikey Garcia out of there. Way out of there. And super long layoff, all kind of complications with weight cuts. And you wind up winning a fight, but looking bad doing it. You know? So, go in there and take a chance and finish him. You know, the guy, I'm sure Herring's gonna take a great punch. I'm sure he can take a punch. His chin's still good, but he's gonna have the opportunity to make the best of it. He should. Now,
well, listen, you're wrong there. I think Shakur Stevenson is staying active with fights. He's fights in the car wash in front of the 7-Eleven. He's very good at staying active, although the fights might not be televised.
Good point.
You know, I think there's a possibility also. You know how they say there's levels to this game, and that's very true. For example, there was this guy named Gabriel Flores. I'm not necessarily comparing him tit for tat against Shakur Stevenson, but that guy was pretty good defensively. When he stepped up, he got tagged up by El Venado Lopez. He got pieced up. His father should have stopped that fight, and he had never been pieced up like that before. I think Shakur is still, how do you say it? The book is still open out on him. Maybe he goes into this fight and takes more punches than he has ever done before. So I still think that could happen as well. You know how Mark Kriegel says, he takes like 0.1 punches per round. Then maybe in this fight he could take 2-3 punches per round, and you never know. He might lose a few.
Yeah, that might be the difference. He takes 2-3 shots. That means he loses. You never know. I mean, he's not that active himself. And by the way, if somebody in the chat could let me know.
How many did Rigondeaux take? People wanted to kill him, man. Jeez.
Yeah, he took one. He ran all over the place. If somebody, please, in the chat room could let me know who is the last caller, I'd really appreciate it. Speaking of callers, let's go to the phone call here. Let's go to 347. You're on the air. 347. What's on your mind?
Yeah, what's going on, BD? This is popping, man. But I think it's gonna be a great fight. You know, it's gonna be a chess match. I think, casual boxing fans, this is not for you. So if you're looking for a fight,
you gotta go
action pack. It's not the fight for you. So but I think this is a fight for actual boxing fans. Hardcore boxing fans like myself and everybody on the panel. But I think it's gonna be a good fight. I think Jamel has good timing. He has he knows how to pick his shots good. He has a good chin. And I think he might be able to drop Shakur with that uppercut. It's very fast and sneaky. We saw he dropped Aquendo and he dropped Frampton. Those are his two last fights. So he dropped both of his last two opponents with his uppercut. So I think it's gonna be a good fight. Listen, Jamel can box too, right? But it really depends how Shakur makes the fight. Because if Shakur goes on the back but and just like boxes him. I think it's gonna be it's gonna be harder for Jamel, but Jamel has very good conditioning. He looks like he's at 130 right now. He looks like he doesn't even need to cut weight. Like, this guy is already ripped and everything right now. He always is in good shape. If you're a Jamel Herring fan or a boxer, Jamel Herring is always in great shape. So I think he'll be able to last if it goes to decision. And I think I think there might be how do you say, like, I think Jamel and Shakur, their camp, they've been in camp together and stuff like that. So I think they might know each other's tricks. You guys think about that, right? They're very
possible,
close friends with Terrence Crawford. They've been in camp together before. They know each other, like, real close. They know each other's fighting style, so they know how each other fight. So I think let's see who uses that to their advantage on Saturday night. It's going to be a great fight. Semper Fi. Shout out to the Marine. His daughter passed away, man. Rest in peace to her, man. But
hey, man,
listen,
thanks for calling, bro.
Hey, hold on. MMA champ. Before you hang up. No, but hold on. Before you hang up, I gotta ask you. I gotta say, hey, recognize he's giving us our props. He says, "Oh, this is a fight for the type of guys on the panel, the hardcore boxing fans." So why are you dogging him then?
No, I'm sorry. I apologize. I just said, thanks for calling in. I had this to happen.
Come on.
What happened when he reads this with this rapid fire style and then hangs up? What is he such a rush for?
It was a very insightful phone call.
If you saw me in real life, you wouldn't say that, bro.
Oh, you're a very wise and thoughtful young man. You're a very wise and thoughtful young man.
Sorry about that, man. I don't want no problems.
But let me say this.
I was being complimentary to him.
Listen to this kid.
Bro, shut up. Nobody's talking to you. Listen, Jamel Herring is from New York. Shout out to him. I'm gonna be rooting for him. Everybody root for him. I think he might upset Shakur Stevenson. Peace out.
All right. There's MMA champ giving his prediction. It's true. I forgot about that. Apparently, they shared a training camp at some point, Stevenson and Herring. So there might be, or actually, one of those guys might be in for a surprise if they expect their opponent to show up the same as they did in training camp. Training camp is training camp. It's sparring. It's not an actual fight. I
thought he was finished. That's why I said we gotta go. I thought he was finished. I apologize.
I'm sure you did,
Mr. BDA.
Yes.
Can I ask you guys a question? What happened with this kid where he calls up with that rapid fire type of delivery now and then hangs up? Like, what does he think he's going to get caught off? Like, he reads it like he's speeding through a book report and he hangs up.
Well, listen,
I was going to tell him just to calm down and just talk, just converse.
He's feeling his oats. What do you want from me? Let's
go to box top.
Let's go to 910 here. 910. You're on the air. 910. What's on your mind?
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
Doing fantastic.
I feel like you guys are sleeping on Shakur Stevens' abilities. I think that he only does as much as he feels like he has to do to win a fight, which sucks for the casual fan. But he's a protege of Bud. Bud is very high on Shakur Stevens, and I'm very high on Bud. So if somebody like him thinks that he could be the next great in his divisions, I'm not going to second guess him until I see different. I like Jamel Herring. It might very well be a boring fight, but it might pull something out of either one of them that makes them, get on the offense and start doing something to try to win the fight. And we could see a little bit more of him than we have seen previously.
Well, he very well could. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that it makes for something interesting to happen. But I'm curious. You saying that you think Shakur Stevens is the type of guy that doesn't do enough until he has to. What makes you say that? Where have you seen him do that in the past?
But just in certain fights, you see that he'll stand back and he'll wait for his shots and his openings because he is a counter puncher. He likes to counter punch, being that he fights out of a southpaw stance most of the time. Me being a southpaw, I understand how that works. But I see flashes of him feinting, setting traps, doing certain things with his footwork that shows me he knows how to box. He knows what he's doing and what he's supposed to be doing. But like you said earlier, I think being as young as he is and working his way through the ranks, he knows that these guys are getting better and better. And he's scared to take that first loss. He's scared to get knocked on his ass. And I think that's what keeps him from, like you said, turning a new page, showing us more of his repertoire and what he can do in the ring.
Well, listen, I think
he's making good points about that.
You know what, man? I got to tell you, you're an optimist, and I like that. I always try to believe that a leopard can change his spots, but you might be being a little bit too optimistic. Because what I'm seeing from Shakur, and I hope I'm wrong, because I want to see an interesting fight, but Shakur Stevenson's past performances have shown me that he's not quite ready to take that extra step to put a couple of combinations together. And it's not only the actions, which is the most important thing, it's the words. Let me read you, caller, what he said after the Nakatalia fight. I tried to get him out of there a little bit, but I started getting hit with some solid shots. I ain't really like it, but next time I'm going to work on moving my head a little bit more and step it up a little more. He's right there. He's telling you he doesn't like to get hit. Now, obviously, some people are going to say, well, nobody likes to get hit.
Course.
That's where you're wrong. Boxers like to get hit. There's boxers out there that love to get hit. They love the action. They love the contact. This guy sounds to me like he's a little bit too scared.
But he's also how old?
22,
and look at who his mentor is and look at the style that Bud fights with.
Right, but he's not Bud Crawford.
It's the same concept as Floyd Mayweather. I hit and don't get hit is the best thing that could happen. And I agree with you. There are guys that love to get in there and trade punches with people, but that's not his style, and he's still really young. I give him that much, that he's really young.
Listen, I agree, man. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But right now, what he's showing us right now what he's showing us is not hit and not get hit. It's barely hit and not get hit. And I don't want to be seeing that weekend after weekend. But hey, listen, hopefully I'm wrong. I think you made some excellent points, and I'm expecting him to at least throw a couple of combos in there because Herring, I think, is going to try to walk to him this fight. So listen, thank you for your call. We got to move on.
Definitely.
All right. Well, listen, thank you for your call. Call back next time, right, man? Call back next time, right, man?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man.
All right.
I think he made some... Yeah, you too, man. Yeah, I think he made some good points. I mean, he's 23, 24. I always think that a fighter, or I like to think that a fighter can change his spots. A leopard can change his spots. Let's go to another phone call here real quick. 386, you're on the air. 386, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, fellas? How we doing?
Doing good. Is it Jackson?
You guys hear me, BDA?
Yeah, I can
hear you.
Here. Can you hear me, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, there's a little chop, but how you doing, man?
Doing fantastic. Listen, if you're having trouble listening to me, then just tell us what you got in your mind, man.
Well, I think Shakur is a little overrated. I think he's yellow, and I don't think he likes to fight. I'm going to tell you the truth. I think Shakur I think he's going to be exposed. I mean, he has some skills, but he's not a Roy or a Floyd. I think Shakur will be found out. I think you guys will all see it and say Jackson was right. I don't think he's a future Hall of Fame or anything. I saw that Cuban school him. I don't see any dog in him. Do you see any dog in him?
Not really, man. But hopefully I'm wrong.
Yeah, he's a bum. Well, yeah, I don't want to keep chopping up the lines, but stay safe, guys.
All right, take it easy, Jackson. Thank you for your call, man. I didn't call him a bum, by the way. I said I don't.
Oh, man.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, listen, Jackson, thank you for your call, man. Catch you on the next one.
He asked if I see any dog of him. I saw a picture of him with a dog.
Yeah, that's true, man. And by the way, real quick, Cerny Banders in the chat says this panel has long hated on Shakur. First of all, no, that's not true. Well, maybe his definition, he's got the Zoomer definition of hate, which is if you criticize a guy, that's hate. But second of all, excuse me for not rooting for a guy that beats up on innocent bystanders in front of the 7-Eleven. I'm sorry, I should root for that.
Thank you, Bucho.
And he's wrong. I like Tupac Shakur. I always like. Oh, I mean Shakur Stevenson.
There we go. LT, it's
One
BDA,
quick
man.
point, BDA.
It's
One quick
BDA.
point about.
Thanks, man.
One quick point about Shakur Stevenson. Jorge Capetillo, the trainer that works with Tyson Fury, said that Shakur Stevenson has one of the worst hands in boxing, meaning that his hands always get injured. So,
Well, he needs that fucking other Capetillo to wrap his hands, man. Get a little platinum. I'm kidding.
Oh, really?
I'm kidding. We all know
No,
that's
but I agree with you, BDA. I mean, he hits women, you know what I mean, on his spare time, should we say, behind their backs, you know, and then jumps in the ring and acts like a total bitch. You know, doesn't want to get hit, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get touched and shit. But he acts like a tough guy, and he feels his demand outside the ring. But inside the ring, he becomes the biggest bitch. I mean, how is that likable, bro? You know what I mean?
Well, apparently we should root for him. Just because he's smart in the ring and he throws one shot at a time. That's the reason why we should root him. Forget about the character. Forget about that. Yeah, we should root him just because he's got the skills. Skills pay the bills, baby. Yeah.
You wanted some combinations?
No.
You wanted some combinations in
Not
front of
just that,
7-Eleven?
because he passes the eye test. Not just that, because he passes the eye test. Because he's not proven yet.
No, he's not. I mean, he's going to have his chance to prove it on Saturday and prove us wrong, which I hope he does, because I like to see people succeed, even though they might be bad people outside the rings. But the ring. But listen, we'll see what happens. Real quick, we got another phone call here. Want to try to get through these. Hold on a second. 346. You're on the air. 346. What's on your mind?
Hey, what up, man? It's Logical Man, dude.
Oh, Logical Man.
Check this
Thanks
out,
for calling
man.
in.
Shakur Stevenson gonna win this fight. I think it won't be too tough for him. It's not like a fight versus Valdez. You know, even though Valdez is a PDE cheating motherfucker, but still, you know, I believe Valdez would have been more of a challenge. He put a little bit more pressure on him. You know, make him work for it. I think Harrison might, you know, he coming with pressure, but I don't really think he just have that type of grit like Valdez would have. You know.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. He might leave himself open there for some counter shots with his chin up in the air. So this is a chance for Stevenson to look good, because I think at some point Herring is going to have to walk forward, and he's going to give Stevenson the chances to score with big shots. So I agree with you there.
Yeah, man. Harrison, he cannot try to box you. He's gonna lose. If he don't put pressure on him and cut that ring off, there's no chance for him, man. It's not going to happen. And you know, we can say, oh well, he beat Carl Frampton, he stopped him and all that. Yeah, man, but Carl Frampton, a boxer like Shakur, this is me personally seeing myself, because Shakur is kind of not in his prime completely, but he's younger, faster, quicker, and more fresh than Carl was. So yeah, he stopped him, but you know, Frampton was coming forward too. It wasn't like Frampton was trying to box and move around very well as Shakur would do, you know. So he got to take that shit to him, because I doubt Shakur even got power like that. Like, he'd be talking crazy. Oh man, he gonna knock him out. He gonna rock him and sock him. I don't know if Shakur got power like that, man. I don't really see that happening. He didn't stop Joet. It's not gonna happen, But ain't gonna lie, but Joet's a tough motherfucker, man. He just fought Navita. I can't pronounce his damn name. And he didn't get dropped by him though. So hey.
Yeah, he fought Maserati in his last fight and gave him a tough fight. That was him. So yeah, that win kind of looks good for Shakur Stevenson, because he was able to walk away unscathed, and he showed off that something.
Yeah, he wasn't hurt at all. That's why I said that's the bad thing when you fight Harrison, man. Because if Harrison don't walk him down, man, like really and cut the ring off, not just chase him around. You know, it ain't bad as Rigo. That dude right there. That's what you call running. But if you can cut that ring off and stop him, I'm telling you, it's gonna be an easy night for Shakur. I'm calling it right now.
Well, there you have it. That's an official prediction right there. Logical Man, we have to move on, but thank you for your call, and call back next time, right, man?
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate it.
Take it easy. Yeah, I agree. I actually do. Yeah.
I wanted to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, boss. Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
I wanted to say, man, Joel really did learn a lot from Shakur's loss, man. I felt like he took it. He was when he fought Shakur, he fought him very laid back, and I think he learned from this loss, and you know, he showed it on his other recent fights. You know, he brought the fight now. So it's not the same Joel that fought Shakur. Let's be honest. It wasn't the same Joel.
Well, that could be, man. That could be. That's an interesting point. We could definitely explore that next during the episode. Boxing QX in the chat says Maserati. Yeah, that's what we call Navarrete over here. Emmanuel Maserati, because he's got a great engine. And he can go, man.
That's
he
right.
can go.
Maserati.
Maserati. And Rolly Romano, too. Let's go to
Romares.
Romario. 301, you're on the air. 301, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, I don't know. Fights like this and the whole like promotional angle really confuse me. Like, I feel like ESPN is putting a lot of these guys' careers on the burner. Like, why isn't this like a co-promotion with like Valdez? You know what I mean? Like, isn't that the next fight? Like, they should be on the same card. I feel like they're doing like nothing for these guys' careers. And I take like real umbrage of this personally, because since Inoue signed with Top Rank, like he's been fighting nobody, and like twice a year. And I feel like he's the type of guy to fight anyone, anytime, So I don't know. I feel like this is the kind of fight you should just hedge your bets and watch the highlights, because there's like a 10% chance these two guys are going to fight. But more than likely, Herring is just old, and Stevenson is just going to keep a little bit out of range. Like, he's really good at managing distance, despite like, I agree with you, BDA. He has, some defensive flaws, sticking his chin up in the air and the like. But he's good, like, managing distance. So I don't really see how Herring could step to him unless he gets shot in and can intimidate him. So those are kind of my thoughts on the fight. But I'm not really expecting much.
Nor should you, man.
Past this fight.
Yeah, you shouldn't go in there with
pissed. Caller sounds pissed off, dude.
He sounds a little bit like he sounds like he's about to attack, like physically attack.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm not about it like that. I'm just a little disenchanted, Like, I feel like the sport is just going downhill more and more. It's becoming more and more marginal and irrelevant. Like, no fight leads to a fight. Everything is like a one-off thing, And that's like the only thing that makes the UFC compelling. That something's going to lead to something. But
you know what, Caller? I agree. Caller, I agree that they didn't give this fight too much promotion. And when you mentioned the fact that they could have done a crossover, like maybe had Stevenson on the undercard and Valdez in the main event, maybe they couldn't work that out because scheduling conflicts, or maybe because they just don't want to. But it's a good idea. That's true. It is a good idea if you're trying to build towards.
Or maybe these guys fight off. They're like, no. I'm gonna need to put my aromatase inhibitors.
Hey, you talk about me. What the fuck?
I can't.
Yeah, don't
fight right now. I'm not
well, listen, that's an excellent point.
This kid's a stealth assassin with his verbally stealth assassin.
Yeah,
the thing about it is, let me ask the caller a question just real quick. This fight tonight here, I mean, let's not matter about the promotion. We all know about the fight. The caller's really, I guess, his beef is that he's just like, when was Shakur Stevenson? How long ago was his last fight, guys? How long ago was his last fight?
A couple of months ago, right?
3 months ago, yeah.
Right, and that was when he kind of came out looking a little funky, right? That looked especially bad, if I'm not mistaken. And then prior to that,
it was a little boring. Like, it was almost like intentionally boring,
Intentionally boring. And then prior to that,
but
it was like a year, right? This guy's not fighting 3 times a year, I don't think.
Yeah,
no,
he's got like what?
I think like, it took a long time.
23 years old, man. Making weight is the thing that kills you as you get older. So like, you can no problem making weight. You don't seem to get hit that much. So it's like, listen, fight 3 times a year, so you can incrementally step up. And if you take a bite too far, you don't got to go Vargas. You don't got to get assassinated by fucking Trinidad. You don't got to go crazy. Let Trinidad kill you.
Yeah.
You don't got to throw to the wolves, but you can step up incrementally.
Well, Pete, not for nothing, man.
Liking them.
Not for nothing, but crazy. Like my grandfather used to say, crazy is good. Crazy wins fights. And if you look at Jamel Herring, even though he's promoted by the great top rank promotion, he only has 16 fights. So he's not being that active. Now, I don't know if that's Top Rank screwing up, because they usually know how to bring that guy up.
How many knockouts that kid has? He doesn't have many.
8 knockouts. I mean,
should have
8. Yeah, something like that.
You're saying, Shakur's got 16 fights.
Yeah, I mean,
you said Herring, but
I feel like no matter what,
16 fights.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, caller. Go ahead.
Caller, you go.
Yeah, I just feel like in a modern landscape, they just dangle anything of worth, like, in front of us, like a donkey, like a carrot in front of a donkey. It's like, we want to see, we've been wanting to see Stevenson versus Valdez for a while. Like that fight should have been done already. It's not like these guys are huge commodities or huge stars, you know. One's a little bit more popular than the other, but come on, it's not like these are household names. This is like for the core boxing crowd anyway, right? So that should like they string us along, and rarely deliver.
That's right.
And
That's a good point, man.
like even with the Charlo Castano fight, like what's happened with that? Like they all both expressed interest in a rematch, and now they're just like gonna fight other people.
Well, that's the way they do it over at the PBC, man. That's the way they do it over at the PBC.
Yeah, it's just bewildering.
We're never going to see that rematch, I don't think. But anyway, 301. Thank you for your call. Yeah. Excellent points.
Good call, bro.
We'll catch you in the next one, man. Take it easy.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. Great.
Thank you, man. Yeah.
Someone's beat the Bob Arum. Someone's been hitting one day.
Someone's been vaping. Someone's been vaping. All right, let's go to 720. Hold on a second. 720, you're on the air. 720, what's on your mind?
Fucking pissed.
Hey guys, I don't know if we discussed this but anybody discuss Shakur Stevenson stepping on people's feet, like literally as part of his fight plan?
Did he do that in the Nakatali fight, or?
I noticed that like in at least 2 fights, and the last one he was called out on it, and actually, like the ref kind of pointed it out to him, so he stopped, and then he struggled with the guys. And then the fight before that, I think his opponent was mocking him about that because he was doing these big exaggerated steps. But I'm just like, once I started seeing that, I'm like, is that Shakur Stevenson's entire fight MO? Is like he's just holding opponents in place and then beating them senseless with speed, and nobody's got his number to say, hey, listen, stop stepping on my foot. That's illegal.
Well, I mean, he's too quick for the guys he's fought so far. So we'll see if Herring can sort of offset that and maybe call him out. But again, Shakur Stevenson, for whatever reason, seems to have ESPN and Top Rank's backing. So you have to assume that he's the A side. They're going to allow him to do whatever he wants, whether it's step on a guy's toes, step on their dick, whatever. He's going to get away with that.
Top rank. Top rank.
Yeah, you got a point there. You got a point. Yeah, I do see Shakur as the A side for stuff. I think it's just he's up and coming. So anyway, that was just my thought.
All right, thank you, caller, and catch you on the next one, man. Take it easy.
Footstep.
All right, take care, guys.
I mean, listen, wouldn't it surprise anybody that? Yeah, go ahead, P. What?
I said it's Footgate. Footgate. The thing about it is, I can't put any of it on ESPN. It's Top Rank. Let's put it where it belongs.
Yeah, that's true.
ESPN's not. They're just setting up. They're just airing fights. Bob's setting Top Rank setting these matches. It's a showcase, man, for Shakur. The risk
not
is
really, bro. Not really a showcase, man. Because look, man, he does have a I forgot his name, bro. Bomac. There you go, man. Man, Bomac really does carry a lot, man. You know what I mean? Like,
he carries a lot. That's true.
Stepped into Bomac's gym, bro. He became another fighter, bro. You know what I mean? He definitely took them up, man.
You're right about that, though. Two things. Yeah, he does. Bomac does carry a lot. He carries a lot of weight, man. A lot of weight. I mean, this guy, the amount of weight he carries, I bet you he's got thick, solid legs. Because every time he goes to get a soda or something in the kitchen and has to bend down, whatever, he's probably squatting a solid 300 pounds right there, man. I mean, this guy must have quads the size of Cincinnati. That's all I'm saying. But
hey, BDA. But what I was asking, to what LT said, what I'm saying, the risk that Shakur runs is it's coming into the fight like a showcase, but it might wind up looking like Thurman and Josecito Lopez, where there's too long of a layoff, too much rust, too much fucking inactivity, and you wind up having a guy like Herring come in there. If he comes out the right way, can make it nasty for Shakur. That's the risk, and there's really not much reward. All right, thank you.
Well, I mean, to be honest, man, Shakur's last belt was a hand-me-down belt, so you know what I mean? This is the first time he's about to earn a belt inside the ring.
Pete, are you in front of a restaurant or something? One of those Florida restaurants where you're outside and in front of a truck?
His backyard.
I thought he was. I thought he was in front of the taco, the truck there, the restaurant truck from Scarface. Remember when they're in front of the club and they're watching everybody go in? They go,
Hey, we got a lot of work to do, so come right back, okay?
He's in that ceviche, man.
He's sneaking for some lunch. That's what he's doing. He's sneaking around.
Yeah, you see how he's eating and his eyes are darting side to side. That's the look of a guy doesn't want to get caught eating. Hey, by the way, what was that?
Never.
But we got to go to a station break here. So let me just play a little commercial real quick. If you're part of the Discord, you can certainly catch it. That channel, it's called Suicide Streams. I suggest you go there, but this is the little commercial we got to play. Hold on a second. And by the way, the phone lines are open, so if you want to jump in there, call in.
BDA's in the big times, boy. Got a commercial and all that.
I know, That's what's up.
Well, listen, it's a nice little commercial. Check it out. Suicide Streams. Wait a minute. Wait. Well, first of all, the commercial has to work, so I don't understand what's going on here. Give me 2 seconds.
It's all working. Everything's coming together.
There we go. All right. So I said Suicide Streams. Check it out. It's fantastic. It's a nice little channel. That's all I can say about that.
What is that, BDA? BDA, what is it? Explain what that is.
Well, I'm going to show you. Instead of explaining it to you, I'm going to show you.
Gonna show it to you. Calm down.
I just want to reiterate the terms here. Johnny boy, I'm not going to talk about you. You don't talk about me. You stay on your side of the fence. I'll stay on my side. Okay? I hope the best. I hope.
Prove us wrong.
I'm expecting another video 1 week from now or 2 weeks where you go fuck BDA or this or that. But that's just the way it will probably go.
You're not gonna
prove BDA wrong. That's what I'm trying to say. Prove him wrong. Prove BDA wrong.
No. I'm gonna.
Nigga, recognize you can suck my dick. Thunderdome, you can suck my dick. BDA, you can suck my dick.
Have you seen the little piggies crawling in the dirt? And for all the little piggies, life is getting worse. Always having dirt to play around in.
It's too hot. Too high, bro. What's up?
You will find the bigger piggies tearing up the dirt. Always have clean shirts to play around in.
I just want to reiterate the terms here. I just want to reiterate the terms. Johnny boy, sorry about that. I was repeating. Listen, I know some people are going to say, oh, BDA, that's immature. Whatever. First of all, if you thought I was mature, then you haven't been watching the channel. Second of all, the little piglet broke the truce. You saw it clear as day. We had a truce. He broke it for the 15th time. So guess what? Now we're giving him what he wants. All the attention he wants. Check it out. Suicide Streams. Join the Discord. You'll be able to catch the link there. And we're going to be having fun over there. That's for sure. Anyway,
that's right.
Going back to the boxing here. We were talking about Jamel
I'm
Herring.
definitely joining.
Well, you should.
I will be breakdancing.
I'm definitely.
I will be breakdancing. So
you guys should send me the link, man. I'm down to join that link. That group.
Check it out. I'm gonna show it to you on the Discord. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, okay. I wanted to bring up something about this Shakur Stevenson versus Jamel Herring fight because this is a bit of a gripe that I have with guys who got quick hands. Let me see if I can find the clip here. Hold on. Because guys with flashy hands, they really do have the benefit of the doubt when it comes to shooting shots and getting people and judges to fall in love with their shots. Hold on, where is it, man? Oh boy. There's a clip here I got where he's throwing shots, he's missing Shakur Stevenson, and the crowd still goes, ooh, and ah. Hold on. Oh, maybe it's here. Oh yeah, here it is. Check this out. Listen to this, all right? And I'm actually going to try to make this as big as possible so you can see that the punch did not land. All right. Hold on a second.
Reporter, Shakur incomplete.
Did you hear that? You hear the crowd go, oh, he didn't even land. Watch this.
Reporter, Shakur incomplete. Fight right here.
It's an animated. It's like a button they press. BDA.
But there's actual people here. It's one of those.
No,
fights
I know what you're saying, but I don't think that it's like they have this production setup that they do, and they like press that button, and it sounds like the crowd is going crazy.
Oh yeah, like those live sitcoms. Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Where they just press the button and yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, man, it might be that definitely, man, because it doesn't seem organic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's too like on point.
That could be true. I mean, maybe it's like the sitcoms. Yeah, you're talking about the sign where it says applause, right?
Yes.
Well, check this out. Look at this dude here in the judge on the right side. Okay, watch this.
I see him.
Incomplete.
Okay, he's on the top. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse cursor, but
I see it.
Yeah, you see the guy, right? I'm gonna play this in real time and then watch it in slow motion. Okay.
Reporter. Shakur incomplete.
This one here. Look at this. Look at the guy in the back, the judge.
Fight right here. This is the fight where you leave.
I'm gonna try to zoom in. All right. Look at him. He's yawning. He's gonna get his Metamucil and go to bed. He's not even watching the fight. Fucking old bastard. So if he's not watching the fight, and he hears this.
Fight right here. This is the fight where you leave.
Wow. He probably thinks, oh, Shakur Stevenson hit him. All right, I give him the round. That's how these fucking judges are gauging the fights now. So what I'm trying to get at is, if this fight is actually more competitive than expected from the outside, expect Shakur Stevenson to get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to the flash, as I like to call it. What do you guys think?
Yep. That's how it goes.
Because it looks good, but doesn't really do anything. It's just aesthetic.
Shakur Stevenson, there's an investment in him. And, the kid I gotta say he doesn't have any talent, but he's still green. He still fights almost kind of amateur style.
Amateurs, yeah.
Point fighter. He's kind of that. He's kind of that guy. He's a counter puncher, off the back foot type of fighter. He's looking once he lands a punch, he's looking to get out of there so you don't hit him. So these judges already know his style, right? And so as long as he looks like he's in control, in control in terms of he's not fighting a pace that he's not used to fighting, he's winning. He's winning the fight.
I mean, you have to expect.
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, because that guy Nakatani's not doing anything. So, like in that exchange right there, I got Shakur Stevenson winning that exchange, right? What I'm saying is there's not that much action. There's not much ask of Shakur Stevenson to win a sequence. Like, if you just look at that sequence, Shakur won.
First of all, it's Nakatila, not Nakatani. You're starting to turn into Jimmy now. You're turning into Jimmy, man. You're turning into Jimmy. Giovanni Nakatani. I mean,
from Godzilla.
Hey, shout out to John Gonzalez for his contribution to the super chat. He says, cut him. He's talking about the judge. Cut him some slack, BDA. He's your age. Actually, I think the guy's younger than me, man. But shout out to John Gonzalez for his contribution and his little dig.
Man, I haven't seen John Gonzalez in a while. Salute, John Gonzalez.
He's been hanging around the Discord. He changed his name to Juani. He changed it to Juani Boy.
Oh, that's him. Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
I've been interacting with him. So, okay, go ahead.
That's all right.
Never
that's
mind.
all right. So, all right.
Yeah, man. Definitely a boring ass fighter.
But listen, I do have to give him his credit because, I was thinking about a comment you made, Pete, in regards to, because you said Navarrete.
Well, with the N word, when I use the N word?
No, not that one. No, when you said that, I had said initially that I'd rather be Shakur Stevenson against Joed Gonzalez than Navarrete, because Navarrete looked banged up in there. And then you made a good point when you said, yeah, but Stevenson, look at Joed Gonzalez's face after the Stevenson fight, and then look at his busted up face against Navarrete. But I'd still rather be Shakur Stevenson. Maybe not in the long run, because again, he's just never going to sell if he continues fighting this way. But he did get Gonzalez's respect, and he walked away clean. I mean, I gotta tell you,
I want to fight like Navarrete. I want to fight like him.
I didn't say I'd rather be Stevenson. Hold on. Yeah, let's clarify that. You said at the end of the fight, look at Stevenson's face. I'd rather be Stevenson. He was clean, unmarked. And
Bro,
Navarrete took
Navarrete's
some.
face was clean too, man.
Yeah, but he said Navarrete took a little bit of damage, and I said, yeah, but look at fucking Gonzalez's face. It was clean after the Shakur fight too, just as clean.
Yep.
What kind of fight you think that was? Look at both guys. What kind of fight you really think that was? And then now look at Gonzalez's face after the Navarrete fight. That's a fight I want to watch. That was damn near a fight. I mean, that was up there for fight of the year. Good fight.
Definitely fight of the year, bro.
Joette is going to be living with those scars for a little while, bro. Those are scars that don't go away right away. They stay in his face. That fight happened last week, right? Saturday. Excuse me, Saturday.
Friday.
Yeah,
but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I guarantee you, it's purple. All that shit is just purple on that side of the face. You know, still.
I'm just saying, Navarrete took more exposure. He took more hits than Shakur did, I'm sure. I didn't even see the Shakur fight. I don't even remember it. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Check it out.
Also,
he took more contact than Shakur did, but look, it took a little bit more risk. He exposed himself. He landed better shots, though. It was a better fight for me. So that's what I mean, man. Get in there 3 times a year. It can be against who you want. I'm not asking you to get thrown to the fucking wolves, but man, bring them along a little faster than this. Then you can stand in there a little longer.
And just imagine, Pete, those two guys had it in for each other. If Shakur Stevenson wasn't aggressive in that fight when the other guy was talking shit about him, just imagine in this next fight and the fights moving forward.
That's true, man. That's a good point. I mean, I can see where you guys are coming from, but what I'm trying to get at is Shakur Stevenson got Gonzalez's respect. It's not like he was outright running in that fight like Rigondeaux. And even then, Joet Gonzalez couldn't really find his way on the inside or do any significant damage. So what I'm trying to get at is Gonzalez is the one that respected Stevenson. This is one of those cases where it's on him to not have really jumped on the guy more. So it's not like Stevenson ran around the ring that day. He could have thrown more shots, that's for sure. But I like that performance now.
Joel was a different fighter, man, when he fought Shakur, man. I think Joel really learned a lot after that loss, man, after Shakur's loss. And he came, more aggressive on his recent fights. It's not the same fighter, bro. Joel really learned from that defeat. It's not the same guy.
Well, I can see that point as well. Time will tell.
What was the guy's name that fought Rigondeaux? What's this kid's name from the Philippines?
Casimiro.
All right, so Casimiro, listen, all of his fights look better than that Rigondeaux fight because Rigondeaux was just not going to stand there and trade. He was just not going to let it happen. And it's exhausting to circle around and chase a guy like that for 12 rounds.
That's true.
I bet you Joet Gonzalez I don't remember the fight too well, I must say. I must have missed it, but
oh, there you go, man.
Been a barn burner.
But that's what I'm saying is Stevenson didn't run around in that fight against Gonzalez. Gonzalez was a little scared of the guy. He was scared of the punching power. And that's on him. It's not a Rigondeaux Casimiro situation where it's Rigondeaux's fault that the fight sucked because he wouldn't let Casimiro a chance to get off. But what I'm real quick, I want to give a shout out to Michael Pover's contribution with the Super Chat says, find Stu Little. I'm worried that he's upset. If you know anything, please share if allowed. Well, first of all, thank you for your contribution, Michael Poe. And Stu said he was going to take a little bit of a break, but he's not answering any emails. So either I hope everything's okay with him, or maybe he's on a long vacation. I don't know, but your guess is as good as mine, man. I've tried contacting the dude, and he's not answering. So I think he just decided to take a long break from the internet. Because not for nothing, but Stu's the one that gets it more than any of us over here. You know that the chat is, you guys are a bunch of animals. If you see weakness in somebody, or if you see something you can, not necessarily weakness, but something that you can harp on, you will go to town with it. So I think Stu just said, you know what, let me take a little bit of a break.
Shit.
Yeah, he'll come back when he feels like
it. Hey,
like
Mr. BDA.
Uh-huh.
I want to say something about what you just said a minute ago. His last fight, if you fight more often every year, I hate to keep harping on it 3 times a year, every 4 months, let's just say. Where am I?
Now, why are you then, if you hate to do it?
Well, I do a lot of things I hate to do. The thing is, if you fight 3 times a year,
Me too.
You can make an adjustment. It's easier to make adjustments when 3 months from now, 4 months from now, I'm going to have another fight. Maybe it's another showcase fight, but 4 months from now, I cannot give so much ground. I can make adjustments that I didn't like from my last fight. I'm getting feedback from matchmakers or my trainers or Top Rank or whoever. So, but when you're taking these crazy long layoffs and then coming in haphazard with the opponents, I mean, it's just low risk. It's low reward and high risk to me.
Yeah,
Pete. To it.
Pete, sorry, but if you're talking about Stevenson, right?
Boxers in general, but yeah, Stevenson now.
Yeah. He's not going to fight more than twice a year because of his hand problems, and he's still young. Just imagine if he moves up in weight, and he's just going to continue getting injured. So that guy's not going to fight more than twice a year. But then again, who else fights more than twice a year at this level?
That's true.
If he's a special exception, and that's the case, that's number one. Number two, I'm not begging him to fight. I'm not begging any of these guys to fight.
I'm begging him not to fight.
It's like chasing a bitch around a fucking bar all night. I'm not doing it. Just don't chase. I'm not begging these guys, any of them, to fight anybody. They can sit on their ass and disappear if they want. It'll make a shit of difference to me.
That's with the language.
If he's got hand problems, if he's got hand problems, I understand that. But that ain't the problem. That ain't what we're talking about. Most 99% of the time. Thank you.
The language.
Well, let me get.
Is it a well-known fact that he has hand problems? I'm just wondering. Is it?
I trust Gonzalo. Gonzalo knows this shit.
Well, it was in the fight. Remember the first fight ESPN had after the whole COVID pandemic? He was the first one out, and he fought some nobody. And he tried to be more aggressive. He ended up breaking both hands. Well, not breaking, but he busted them up. Meaning he doesn't know how to. He's not used to putting that type of pressure and throwing that.
He got brittle hands.
Brittle hands, huh?
Poor punching technique.
Well, it's recognized. Recognize the one that said he had little bitch hands. I didn't say that. That's recognized.
I didn't say that.
You kind of did.
No, he does have little bitch hands.
Little hands. He's got little hands.
He doesn't like getting hit, and he doesn't like to punch. I tell you what. Have you considered boxing? Who the fuck got this kid into boxing in the first place? I mean,
No, he probably likes boxing, man. He grew up in.
I'm sure he loves it. I'm sure he loves it.
Grew up in Newark. Newark has some nice gyms, so they got nice gyms around them. Not only in Newark, but there's like other cities that are close to them, and they got a bunch of gyms. So he's probably. I'm just guessing, knowing that area, he probably as a kid always go to the boxing gym.
The fuck is this?
Yeah.
Who's flying?
This is what I think it happened, man. He probably beat like a couple of women, growing up, and he thought, what, maybe I can make it as a boxer. So there you go.
Hey, that's probably.
I got my girlfriend one time, and I go, "Come on, Gorilla, we in Manila. Come on, Gorilla."
Yeah, he probably beat up a bunch of women, man.
Definitely, man, and it's not a good look for the guy. I mean, you beat women outside the gym, inside the gym, you act like a woman. I mean, I don't know, bro. You know what I mean? Is boxing really his thing? So makes me question a lot. Now that you tell me that he has brittle hands, I mean, wow.
Yeah, man,
what's up with that guy?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. By the way, shout out to Iceman for his contribution with the super chat. Says BDA has an excellent panel now. These guys are not bitter. Come on, don't take digs at Stu. What's the matter?
Yeah, he's trying to take digs at Stu, man. What's going on with this guy?
But thank you for your contribution, though. I must say that. Yeah. Really appreciate it. And by the way, we got Jimmy on dropping by. Jimmy.
What's going on, man? What's happening, gentlemen?
Jimmy, let me get your thoughts on this.
Maserati. Maserati fucks people up.
Jimmy, we didn't really touch on this last episode, but okay, now we're talking about Shakur Stevenson versus Jamel Herring. It's taking place this Saturday. And I was saying that in hindsight now, Shakur Stevenson's win over Joed Gonzalez looks a little bit better now, considering that Joed Gonzalez was able to give Navarrete a tough fight. Now, Pete made a good point. He said, yeah, Navarrete struggled a little bit with Joed Gonzalez, but look at Gonzalez's face after the Navarrete fight. And look at his face after the Shakur Stevenson fight. Meaning, after the Shakur Stevenson fight, he was clean as a pixie. Whereas against Navarrete, he looked like he'd been thrown into a meat grinder. What's your thoughts on that? Like, do you think?
Well, isn't Shakur? What's his natural weight? I mean, how big is he? He's bigger than Navarrete. in all dimensions, isn't he?
Somebody could clarify. I think they're fighting at the. Yeah, I think Navarrete Gonzalez might have been at 126. Let me check. But anyway, yes, go ahead.
So maybe this is a size thing. Cause I know he's going to be moving up soon. They were saying with Shakur Stevens. I mean, he's just he is what he is. That's his style. I mean, I don't like Herring's chances this weekend. I just think the youth and the speed, and it's because Herring doesn't, doesn't put a lot on his punches. And you like the kid too. Out of all the fighters, he's probably the most likable. Ex-Marine, stand-up dude on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, there's everything about him I like, but I just think this is going to be too much speed, too much youth. It's a young man's game, especially when you're dealing with that speed. And I just think because Herring doesn't have the power. That's the thing that's going to take someone like Stevenson out. It's going to have to be someone who cracks. And you know what I mean? And once you get him a little rocked, you get him in his own head, and all he's thinking about is not getting hit with that shot again. See, with Herring, you're not going to have that. Even if he lands you, clean, he's not putting that kind of shit on it that it's going to change you as a fighter. You want that change people power, you know what I mean? Like whatever game plan they get in your head, you rock their marbles hard enough and that shit's gone. And that's not the Marine. So Jimmy, I think that it's going to be Shakur all day on that fight.
Just to clarify, the Stevenson versus Joed Gonzalez fight was at super featherweight, whereas Navarrete Gonzalez was at featherweight. So I suppose one could claim, or maybe Joed Gonzalez would claim that fighting at 126 was better for him than fighting Shakur. By the way, Shakur Stevenson looks like a junior welterweight. Let me try to find some of the recent.
That's a difference too. Everybody's like,
he's a tall dude, man.
Yeah, 126 pounds to 130. He's like, people don't understand. It's not just the 4 pounds you're dealing with. It's all right when you're trying to get everybody here who's dieted or like trying to make weight for something knows. Getting down to that last 5 or 6 pounds is nothing. It's when you get to that last, you got to peel off that last 5 when you're really literally eating muscle. It's brutal. So it's a world of difference to those guys because they're not doing same day weigh-ins. They're manipulating their bodies. None of these guys would be fighting in the class they're fighting in for the most of the history of this sport until this past 20 years because they changed it.
There'll only be very few guys.
Exactly.
Like Loma took a fight at 135 same day weigh-in, but other than that, all those other guys, I don't think they could.
Yeah. Shakur would be a junior welterweight, probably. I would say junior welterweight or lightweight, the lightest. All these guys would be moving up. So it's that game of trying to manipulate. It's why they look like walking death the night before. They're all ashy colored and skinny. And then that night they try to carb up and put on that weight. But again, it's, the whole thing of it was meant to be saving lives. I think it's just actually caused more problems. But yes, I think, what's the percent, panel? I didn't get the chance to hear the rest of the show. What do most people think? What?
Look, man, I wanted to tell you, man, Herring has a longer reach, by the way. He has more reach over Shakur.
Yeah, I know he does.
So remember that.
The fact that Jamel Herring doesn't hit as hard might make it into a more exciting fight because if he's the one, Shakur Stevenson, that's always trying to get away from that, those guys that punch hard. With this guy, he might take more risks. And I'm not saying that Jamel Herring is going to win, but that's what we want to see, right? A fight where they're both engaging.
Yes. No, absolutely. I want Herring to win. Don't get me wrong. I want him to win.
Also, man, this is the first fight where Herring has where Shakur doesn't have the reach advantage. Shakur has always had the reach advantage.
Oh no, you're right. No, listen, this is the big answer. A lot of questions are going to be answered with him. Absolutely. You know what I mean? I mean, Gonzalez. He just fought that kid. He might not, like we said, punch as hard at 130 as he does at 126. But he took some shots. He doesn't like getting hit. That's why he has that whole style. But he is very, very quick, very accurate. And he's got remember coming out of the images, he had a lot of people, Andre Ward chasing him, Prince, fucking Top Rank. There's a reason they were going after that kid. They saw a lot in him. So let's see, did he meet their expectations or does he fucking, You know what I mean? Shit the bed on Saturday. Who knows?
That dude,
Yeah,
Joel Gonzalez, he's very slow, man. Even when he tried to be at his fastest, he was slow as molasses. And I'm not saying either that Jamal Herring is the fastest guy in the world, but it's a different style. It's a different style of fighting. If you're not going in there with that frenetic pace that Joel Gonzalez, while he was trying to look fast, was still slow, but then you utilize timing with the long levers and Jamal Herring and pick your shots when you're supposed to offset the other guy's rhythm, that could play out differently. It's style. Styles makes fights.
Right. And how old is Herring now, though?
35, 36, I think.
Probably. Yeah.
That's
I tell you
creeping.
what,
You know what I mean? That's up there for that weight class.
he looks like the faster guy against other guys. When he fought Ito, that Japanese dude, or when he fought Lamont Roach, he does look quick. But when he fought I forget the guy's name. I got the clips here. A PBC fight that you can find on YouTube, and he fought another Southpaw.
Shakurkov,
No,
the guy that fought Robert Easter.
No, not that guy. After that fight, he fought another Southpaw, and he looked slow in that one. I actually thought he won that fight, but he looked slow. By the way, real quick, let's go to a phone call here. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like, hit the like. 305, you're on the air. 305, what's on your mind?
I have a question about this fight. Herring, between Herring and Shakur, who's the better inside fighter? Who would benefit from having it fall on the inside? Because when I look at Herring, sometimes he doesn't really utilize his reach like he's supposed to. Sometimes, depending on who he's fighting, because he seems like he wants to fight on the inside when he has the reach. Sometimes, am I looking at it wrong, or is that an actual? Do you guys actually see that as well?
You know what? That's an excellent question. First, let me just say that because you don't really see Shakur Stevenson spend any time on the inside. He did it in spots when he fought, and I actually have a couple of clips where he did it in spots. When he fought El Pitufo against Diaz, there were times where he got caught, he couldn't move, and he had to stay in the pocket there a little bit. I think he can hold his own on the inside, but he's not comfortable 100% in there. I would have to give...
No, definitely not.
You know what, Caller?
Go ahead.
Caller, I'll say this. The only reason why I'd give Shakur Stevenson the edge is because, what's his name? Herring lifts his chin up in the air when he's in the inside. What's everyone else?
Also, man,
I think for me, this is...
Go ahead, Caller.
This is, for me, what hurts Shakur a little bit, to be honest. I'm being honest. In how he fights, he's trying to be... I can't believe I'm saying this. He's trying to... Some of these fighters who are fighting under Floyd are trying to be too much like Floyd to the point where they're not developing their own personality in the ring, like how their fighting style is or their philosophy in the ring. They're trying to be too much like Floyd to where they're becoming robots. Am I being harsh on Shakur, or do you guys see that as a legitimate criticism of some of these young fighters who are fighting under Floyd?
Well, he doesn't fight under Floyd. He's with Top Rank. He's not with the PBC.
No, but what he means is he does go to his gym a lot. They do.
Oh! I see. I misunderstood. I heard fight
like,
under.
Yeah,
I thought he meant.
He spent some time on Las Vegas on the Floyd Mayweather.
I took him literally. I used it. Yeah, I took
but the
him
point is,
literally
he
in the
makes
fight under.
an interesting...
Also, man, when Shakur tries to fight on the inside, like he doesn't spend time inside. Like he's already like looking for the door. Like as soon as he steps inside, like he's already looking for a way out, man. That's Shakur, man. He just doesn't like to spend time inside the pocket. That's not him.
LT.
So I want to say the advantage. I want to say the advantage on the inside game. It's definitely for Herring. Definitely.
Yeah, he's a tougher kid too. It usually goes with the tougher guy. Remember at the end of the last fight when if you stayed awake till the final bell, if you remember at the end of the fight, he could not get past that fucking. You remember he had a little I don't know, a mouse or a raspberry on his face. he kept looking at it, the camera, because they got their faces up on the widescreen. So he kept staring at it up at the widescreen. Somebody actually from his team tapped him. It's like, all right, dude, that's enough. Like, it was unbelievable. Like, you can just tell he doesn't like, dude, he's just one of these kids who he doesn't like getting hit. That's all I'm going to say.
Jimmy, this is Shakur. This is Shakur we're talking about.
Are you guys surprised?
Yes.
Wait, is this at 126 or 130?
It's
Is this
130,
at
caller.
130?
It's 130. 130.
Okay. This is a serious question. Do you think the reason why Shakur's going up to 130 is because he knows if he fights this guy Navarrete, he's going to get destroyed because Navarrete is the champion. I think one of the champions. Is he fighting for the WBC or WBO championship by chance?
They're in different weight classes. So I think the plan right now for Top Rank is, it seems to me, and like to other people, it seems like they want to get Shakur Stevenson to win this fight so he can fight Oscar Valdez. That seems to be the plan. I don't think they're trying to match him with Navarrete just quite yet.
Yeah, he had
No, that's what I'm saying.
Shakur has been calling out.
He's a natural.
I wanted to say, man,
Hold on.
To me.
All right, well, caller, we got to move on, but thank you for your call, and we'll catch you in the next, all right, man?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, man. Yeah, because we got too much going on here, I think. Go ahead, LT.
Yeah, man, I wanted to say, man, the only reason why Shakur is fighting Herring is because he's been chasing Valdez, and Valdez basically told him, grab a belt and I'll fight you. That's basically it, man. But if it wasn't for Oscar asking Shakur to have a belt, Shakur, would try to fight Valdez real quick, man, because he's been chasing Valdez all this time. He even got his hand-me-down belt at 126.
Hello? I don't think we dropped off.
Yeah, man, you guys got a little quiet there.
LT left everybody speechless. Unbelievable.
Oh, I thought I dropped off.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So that's the only reason, man. That's the only reason why Shakur is fighting Herring, because he wants Valdez. Valdez is smart enough, man. Go grab a belt. Go grab a belt, and I'll fight you.
Ever notice what belt it is? It's always a WBO belt. It's the World Bob belt. No, the World Bob Organization. WBO, that's like the, you know what I mean, the top rank belt.
What if it has a picture of
Right,
Bob
exactly, man.
Like
By the way,
WBA's
Jimmy,
PBC.
Yo, Jimmy, what's up, by the way?
What's going on, Peter?
Good to hear from you.
Jimmy!
What's happening, man?
The thing about it is, LT, what do you... Hey, what night is this fight? Saturday night? This banger?
It's this Saturday, yeah, man, and there's
on
really no
regular
hype behind
ESPN
it.
or on the app? On regular ESPN or on the app?
It's ESPN Plus, I think, yeah.
Ah, I see. Okay. They're gonna make everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if Bob really... I don't know if he had a talk with Shakur after that last fight, but I'm sure somebody did from Top Rank. Must have said, dude, you see what they're saying about... I mean, the fact that he came out and apologized after that fight tells you something. Someone had to have said something to him. Like, you got to apologize for that.
Maybe I'm onto something. Because, Jimmy, before you got here, my whole thing was, like, these guys... I can't bitch about the opponent. The opponent's set. It's set for this Saturday. So all I can say is you're 23 years old. You're going to fight a 36-year-old guy who's going to be doing nothing but taking chances, coming forward, trying to catch you. It's a showcase fight. It's a setup as a showcase fight for Shakur. I should say it's being staged that way. That's made, right? So take note, man. If you keep wasting time fighting irregularly and set yourself three times a year and go out there so that you can have an off night and then come back 4 months later and still keep on track. You know what I mean? That's my thing about it. Now, Gonzalo mentioned about the hands is a little bit of a different story, an exception, but short of that, man, it's boxing, you know.
Well, he's young enough too. He can just get the surgery if his hands are collapsing. There's great German, surgeons all doing crazy.
Yep.
Implanted over the back of your fist, so it keeps it from shattering.
I was going to be a pro boxer, I'd do that before I ever had a problem. I'd put rods, I'd put hardware in my hands. I'd fuse my fucking wrist shut, fuse my wrist straight. To be honest with you.
What the fuck are you
I really
talking
would.
about?
Well, you would know. Some guys just never have hand problems. Like Mickey never had hand problems ever until the cop shattered his hand.
Oh, well, that was his
You know what I mean?
excuse.
The brittleness of the brakes, I think, has a lot to do with dehydration. But I'll tell you this, man. Football, I don't got a fucking regular. I'm gonna show you something.
Yeah, you know.
My wrist took the biggest fucking. Look at this fucking camera. Look that. Look up. See my pinky?
You little prick.
That's my pinky.
Oh
little
shit.
prick. That's my pinky.
Hey, fuck your pinky, dude. Check out that pad, kid. You're living large, huh?
I know, right? Look at that view, man.
I don't got a straight fucking finger.
That Florida life, baby. Florida life.
I know, right? Fuck, man, Florida.
Pete, no one's paying attention to your fingers. They're watching your fucking huge backyard, man. Oh, hey, come on. Wait a minute. It's a family show.
Check
What are
out
you
your
doing?
house.
Not my house. Not my house.
Well, that's what he
The
says
thing
now.
about it is, look, this finger doesn't even work. You see that finger? It doesn't even work. See that? Like
All
you
right,
close
so what's your point?
you,
What's your point? What's your
jammed
point?
it, you jammed it in, right? You jammed it?
Yeah, that ligament tore. This
It was
ligament
the
right
wrong
here.
hole. Man, let me guess, Scalebender. Was it
You-
the
you
wrong hole?
You didn't sweet talk her first, huh?
A fucking rodeo bull, a bunch of blow, 4 strippers. My wife's right behind me, so I can't get. But the thing about it is, look,
You disgust
I'm
me.
saying your hands get fucking. They're all crooked,
Yeah.
and your wrists take the most of it because it's just your joint, your wrists and your hands aren't made for that kind of that fucking impact every fucking.
Oh, rim
So,
shot.
like I said,
Well, what's with these fighters with brittle hands, bro? Caleb Plant, Shakur Stevenson. May I name more?
Because they don't teach them how to
because
punch,
you
man.
know what it is,
Ryan
LT?
Garcia, bro. Like, come on.
LT, they got a lot of these guys technique. They got poor, like, see, like, look at I'll give you an example. Look at Canelo. Canelo, with every punch, he's trying to, he's loading up because he's confident in his hands. His hands are strong. His wrist
Yeah.
is strong. He's not gonna bend his wrist when he makes impact with you. He's not afraid of that. So, and the reason that he's not afraid to let go of those punches as hard as he does, obviously, has to be because he's very confident in his strong hands.
Yeah, well, I mean, Chavez was like that.
Technique, bro. Like technique. Like you said, man, it's the technique. Yeah, man, it's the technique. These guys are not applying the right technique, man. You're right.
You ever see? And I hate to keep talking about Canelo like I'm some fucking fanboy. Everybody knows I don't really care for him. But like in terms of like the way he trains, go look at the way he hits the bag, bro. He hits that bag like with everything, dude. There's guys.
Come on, Rick.
Naturally,
Love the guy.
Yeah.
Look. What I'm saying is, for you to do that, go to a gym. Go to the gym and just once you go there, try to hit the bag the way he hits the bag with every single punch. You're gonna get intimidated. At one point you're going to, if you're not used to doing it. Canelo does that shit. There's other guys other than Canelo. They do that shit because they're so fucking strong in their wrists, their forearm, their hands. They're not worried about that.
Nope.
Yeah, they're doing wrist curls. They're doing the rope with the plate. Yep. And but you know what's nice though? At his level, he just shows up, stays on his phone talking, sticks a hand out, and has somebody wrap your hands. I'll tell you, man. If anybody's ever boxed, knows wrapping your hands suck. If you have to, you know, most guys they cheap out on it because if you have to pay for tape, and a lot of guys, they don't wrap them right. When you're going to hit the bags, but they wrap his hands perfectly before he hits the bag. That makes such a huge difference.
Yeah, that wrist curl exercise that you just mentioned, that's one of the best exercises to strengthen up your wrist.
Yep.
And to punch harder too, man.
Yep, it is. It's an excellent exercise. It's easy to make. A broom handle, a fucking plate, and a rope. That's all you need.
Oh yeah, we had those too.
That's
road work, man. Actual road work.
It's not strengthening your hands.
You know what I mean? Actual road work makes a difference on little things like that. It really does, man. It really does.
What does that have to do with your wrists?
Road work.
Chief, we
you know what I mean? Hard work.
Chief,
hard work. Like you're actually putting in the hard work on it. You're not just. I don't know how to explain it, but I know some of you guys do get it.
Hey, Chief, you
Yeah,
kind of
that's
sound
another
low,
one,
man.
man.
Chief, you kind of sound a little bit low there, like you're on a speakerphone or something.
We are. Well, hold on. It's in my car also. Hang on a second.
Does Chief leave in his car? Every time we talk to him, he's in his car, man. What's going on?
Yeah, no, this is a busy day for me, but you can hear me
Chief's
better
on the
now?
run.
Yeah, we can hear you now, man. We
Not,
can hear you
I
now.
mean, not just that, man. Look at Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., bro. I mean, when did you ever see him have, hand
Triple G.
problems?
Triple G, another guy.
Oh, that's a guy with huge
Exactly,
forearms.
man. It's road work. Exactly, man. They actually put the hard work in it, man. And these guys seem like they don't. They don't, man.
But that's
They
not what
have
you
poor
said. You
technique.
said road work, which is running. You said road work, not hard work. Road work
But
is
listen,
running.
the point is,
I think you've been jacking off in the car.
Okay, come on. Okay, come on. No. But I wanted to say something. If you look at
road work, I mean, I try to like everything that comes with it. You know what I mean? Not just like road work can also be like jumping. Like what is it? Like the fucking thing. Hula hoop. What is it? No, not hula hoop. Fucking jump rope. Yeah, man.
Okay,
I mean, it's
hula
road work. Basic work, man. Basic work.
Okay.
Listen, I gotta point something out here.
Wording it right.
Yeah, but listen, I gotta point something about the forums because hey, in speaking of Steve Kim, we got a Steve Kim for here. Steve Kim always talked about how Golovkin had some huge fucking forearms, and you can sort of see here on the right hand, the right arm of Golovkin, you can see the indentation of that forearm. I can't help but feel that when you hit somebody, if you have strong forearms, they act as shock absorbers, meaning your wrist is gonna be more stable. And that equals more blunt force.
Yes. The straighter your punch goes with your opponent's face or body, and the straight, if it stays straight, so it's just science, right? If my punch is bending less than most guys when I'm punching you, that means that reacting like a bullet. You get what I'm saying? Not necessarily a bullet, but something like that, where it just goes straight. There's no break through it. The more I could do that, the harder I could do that. Obviously, that means that in the game of boxing, I'm punching harder than most guys than maybe that opponent's ever faced.
Well, your follow through is definitely going to be better. Your follow through is definitely going to be better, and the risk of injury is definitely going to be less. But I've seen Devin Haney do all. I've seen him do pronation, supination, wrist curls, wrist extensions. I've seen him do all that. He can't punch worth a damn, but he never really complains about hurting his hands.
Yeah,
he had hurt his hands before.
I'm asking. Yeah. So is that right or wrong? Because Gonzalo, I trust Gonzalo's all over this shit. I take his. He's like.
When you have a when you have strong forearms too. I mean, if you do wrists, the reason why they have you do the rope and the weight thing too, Gonzalo will probably confirm this too. When you're punching, if you have dainty wrists, when you hit, so you're following through, just pitch that 6-inch punch comes out and hits the person. It's gonna take some of the inertia and the explosive power away if your wrist folds over as you're hitting, because you don't have the strong wrist to keep the fucking punch straight to recognize his point coming in straight. Yeah. And one thing Triple G was, if you ever watch, just next time you watch, how they're always in the beginning in the dressing room, they look at the camera, the fighter looks at the camera. You see them and they're doing it in slow motion. Some their hands aren't wrapped, and as they're doing it, if people who don't follow boxing say, like, why are they turning their hands so over so much? It looks like they're pouring milk as they're throwing a punch. You know what I mean? Picture like if you're holding a gallon of milk, you're pouring it, because they're turning. The reason why you over-exemplify, as you're practicing, you're punching at the mirror, you turn your wrist over, keep turning them over. That's because you want that second nature, because when you're throwing a punch, it's when you turn your wrist over, you're going to punch with your two knuckles, your ring finger and your middle finger, opposed to throwing a hammer punch coming down on your pinky, something Deontay Wilder with his windmills were famous for. And that's why he always shatters his hands. And the way he shatters them and the spots he shatters them shows he's not landing correctly.
That's a great point. And like Regis for Grace, you know why he hits the tires? Because the tires have a little bit of a kickback when you punch them. Yes. So you're getting used to that wrist becoming stronger and able to, like, when you punch, that it's going to be strong enough to, when you retrieve your hand, it's not on the tire because it's got a little bit of kickback. It builds that wrist up. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Jimmy. Everything you said makes a whole lot of sense.
I always thought
you guys ever use sand? Believe it or not, like fine sand. Stick your hand in a big ass bowl of fine sand, and
Rice,
you're
too.
working around. Yeah, ice.
Rice.
Well, they'll do the
Oh,
ice
rice,
exactly.
rice.
Oh, rice. I thought you meant nice because they'll do that at the end to bring the swelling down. But rice, exactly. Sand or rice. It helps strengthen the hands, all the muscles inside the hand.
I talked to one guy one time, and he told me that he messed up his pinky finger, that boxer break. And what he had to do is he had to learn how to punch all over again, to throw his punches differently, to punch with the center knuckles. So like the delivery system on that is, you might think, oh well, what's the difference? There's a lot of a difference.
Yeah, if you look at the bone, if you feel the bones on your ring finger and your pinky finger, I'm talking about even up through your hand, back to your wrist. They're fucking tiny compared to your middle and your index finger.
Yeah, middle and index.
Yeah, that's big. They're twice the size. But my thing is what Jimmy was saying about the wraps. We used to get our hands wrapped, and I play defensive line, right? You have to shoot your hands inside somebody else's shoulder pads every single fucking play, and they're trying to do the same to you. So your fingers do get fucked up because they're kind of open and exposed, but your wrist, the way they spatted our hands up, they sounded much like the way that they wrap these boxers' hands up, which was like to make it feel like a fucking piece of concrete. So I don't understand how Shakur's got problems. If you're in the amateurs, you don't even have pro wraps, right? You don't wrap your hands in the amateurs pre-fight.
Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do, bro.
No, but he's saying they don't wrap them. He's saying
amateurs as with
the,
You use the wraps that they train. You ever see the ones that you can put on? You can
cloth ones, the fabric
you can put it on yourself. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but he's saying they don't wrap them. Right? Yeah, but they don't put the whole fucking professional gauze and all that. I wanted to say something. Because, Shakur Stevenson, look, the reason why he has got brilliant hands is he's not used to stringing combinations together in the ring. You can hit the bag as much as you want, but when you're in the actual ring, hitting bone, because that's what happens. Even the guys the most accurate guys in there, accidentally, they'll hit you on the top of the head, the forehead, whatever. They fight through the pain. These guys don't used to that. The elbow, yeah.
Elbows are the worst.
Block a punch.
Yeah.
When the other guy's trying to block a punch, a lot of the times you're gonna hit his elbow.
That's right. That's right. It's
a
risk.
You don't throw enough power to break his hands.
Here's a good example. You see, remember when Trinidad would throw that lead left hook?
Uh-huh.
If you look at the form of the hook, it was just like a L shape. I call it the L shape. It never twisted, like the punch never twisted. It was and he did it fast. He would boom. He was trying to punch through you, right? When you kind of turn, you're trying to punch like when you make impact, you're trying to make a twist to it. That's the wrong way to do it. You do that on a straight jab. You do that twist on a straight jab. You do that flicker. You don't do it when you're hooking because it takes away from the power, right? The power you want to when you're throwing a hook, and even sometimes when you're throwing a straight punch or you're throwing an uppercut, you want to keep that wrist, that forearm in line with your punch. You don't want no breakthrough. There's gonna be some, obviously, but as you're trying to take away less as possible. I mean, if every man could just go straight through, they would just be knocking out every guy they punch, right? Pretty much.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Speaking of entertaining, I got a gripe with this again. After the Stevenson Nakatani fight, whatever the guy's name was, some people criticize him for it. I mean, even Stevenson admitted it wasn't a good performance. But then there's this dude, Franchon Cruz de Zorn. I don't know if that's a real name or not, but it was a guy on Twitter. He said, everybody mad at Shakur Stevenson, but it takes two to tango. Also, nobody is taking punches for him. Right, first of all, I've said it before and I'll repeat it. This argument of, well, he's the one taking the shots. Yeah, well, guess who's paying for it? We're paying for it. The reason why this guy is earning the amount of money he is because he's on TV. And guess who's footing the bill? In other words, what's these guys like him who say, well, he's the one getting in there taking punches. Well, nobody forced him to become a professional boxer. This is show business. Show me what you got. If you don't, get the fuck off TV. I don't want to pay to watch you. A lot of these professional fighters, the way they want to do it is like Gomer Pyle in Full Metal Jacket. They want to eat the donut. You're paying for it. They're paying for it. You eat it. So he's there. He's enjoying everything. We're on the floor doing push-ups. screw that, man. If Shakur Stevenson does not show us something, he could be the most skilled fighter in the world, barely take punches. Oh, Mayweather, like Mayweather, he's limiting his opponents to 12% connect rate, whatever. Okay, but he admitted he doesn't want to press the action because he's scared. So why do I gotta pay for that? This ain't art. This ain't the painting. This ain't music where I can appreciate the music. If the guy refuses to, if he fights the same way with everybody, guess what? It's time to get off television, pal.
Yeah, you know what, BDA too, and now the fans, the people, there's more resources for us to read in between the lines to try to understand that that not just because this guy is a superior talent, a prodigy, that's the way he fights. No, he fights like this for reasons like he hurt his hands, he doesn't like to get hit, stuff like that. For the people can see in between the lines, read through the bullshit that it's not all talent. There's a reason why he fights like this. People understand.
When I hear he doesn't like to get hit, it means to me that he's buzzed. I don't know about if you don't like to get touched in your face, you seems like you'd find out about it a hell of a long time before ESPN Plus the Saturday night or last fight 3 months ago. I mean, it's Jimmy talked about it before when he was talking to Mickey Ward. You know, he's like, Jimmy says like, this fucking sucks. Came to the realization, this fucking sucks. And Mickey Ward's like, I kind of like it. In other words, it's not that he likes it. He just doesn't mind it so much. It's kind of like give and take, you know. It's worth it.
It's a thrill. It's a thrill. It's like when you gamble, right?
No, it just
you don't
like
losing. But that's what I'm saying.
Man.
It's like this. It's like when you gamble. Obviously, nobody likes losing, but losing is part of the excitement. If you won all the time, it wouldn't be exciting. It's the threat of losing. So it's the same thing with these guys. They take a shot, it stings a little bit, but they're not hurt. And that's what they enjoy. They go, oh, if I get hit like that again, maybe it takes me out. It's the thrill of living on the edge. There's people like that, like me. We live on the edge. We're wild cards. We live a life of danger.
BDA, I wanted to mention something else about the hands that I just remembered.
Please go ahead.
Another reason fighters hurt their hands is because if you slap, or in other words, if you throw your punch with your fist open, it tends to cut the air quicker, like a karate chop. A lot of fighters will throw their punches with their hands open. That way it reaches, because your hand's lighter, it reaches a target quicker. But if you don't close it enough, if you don't close it fast enough in time, you're gonna hurt your hand because you're gonna hit with an open fist. Yeah, that's another reason you're.
That's a horrible idea. That's a fucking awful. Is that true? How can they even open their hands with those thumbs and those? Oh yeah, I guess they could if they.
Because they're idiots. And by the way, let me show you a little something why I think Stevenson might actually end up looking good in this fight, and that is because Jamel Herring. Oh, it's Jamel, not Jamel. Anyway, check this out. He lifts his chin up in the air a little bit too much for my liking. See that when he comes in? This is like that fight that he lost by, I think, split decision or something, even though I thought he should have won it. See that big old step he takes on his heel. Steps in. Look at his head. It's essentially barging in. And then as soon as he gets hit with the right uppercut, he steps right in the line there. Look at how high his head is. Right for the.
He's in the red trunks or what? He's in the red trunks?
Yeah, he's in the red trunks. Yeah, he's the one getting hit.
And that's BDA, what's the panel like? What do most people? Did you guys already go through the picks?
No, we have not.
Oh, all right. I was just wondering, what do most guys think? Who's going to win?
But let me just see this example here. He's on the inside. Yep. He's lifting his body up. Gets go with the left hook, and I'm just going to run through this quickly. See, left hook. His chin is in the same area, same axis, with his hands down. I think Shakur Stevenson, people say he's not a big puncher, but he's got the speed and the velocity where if you give him this type of target, he might just ice you. And I think that we might see this on Saturday. We might see Herring getting, because look at that.
Who's in the white trunks? Sorry. Who's in the white trunks? Ooh, good dance. So you saw that he was doing the Soldier Boy. Who's in the white trunks, Herring?
No, that's Lamont Roach.
Lamont Roach.
Undefeated dude.
Lamont Sampson.
No.
So the thing about it is, like, he's going to be doing he's going to be coming forward, Herring, and Stevenson's not going to be standing there like these other opponents. He's going to be on his toes. Stevens don't punch hard enough to hurt his hands, man. You don't get off of his toes. You can't punch on your toes.
Hey, that's Lamont Roach, Pete. That's Freddie Roach's son. Okay, continue.
No shit.
Oh, that's.
I'm sorry. Thanks for the heads up. 'Cause I can't see it.
That's. Oh man, Gonzalo.
Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone, BD.
That's his adopted son. Yeah, his adopted son from Nambia. No, but what were you saying, Pete? He hits hard. Why
said Shakur Stevens?
He doesn't hit hard enough to
seem
break
like
his
he doesn't-
hands.
Yeah, he doesn't throw enough power. You can strengthen your forearms and strengthen all you want. All that does is put more pressure on your hands. He don't throw hard enough punches to break his fucking hands. To me, I think it has more to do with all these guys with like the malnourishment, so to speak. That's probably the wrong word, but
all right, well, listen.
A diet that has to bring you down to these weights in the first place. That's got to affect the health of your bones. You know what I mean? Otherwise, put some puncher's gloves on, shoot your hands up so that they feel like they belong to the fucking son of a bitch in the next county over. Like you don't know who the hell they belong to. Like you got no hands at all. And let it rip, man.
I don't know. We've spent way too much time on this episode talking about hands and bones and the exterior orbital and the.
We're talking about Shakur Stevens.
He's saying medical
school. You don't
school.
like to get hit. You got to be in range if you want to hit the guy. Most times you have to be in range to get hit yourself, right?
That's true. That's true.
We're not going to talk about his exciting fights.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, okay.
Saying, I'm looking forward more like, just looking forward. Go ahead and take a couple chances, man. Get in there and mix it up. I know you don't like it, but you might benefit from it. That's all.
Listen, I know we've spent a lot of time criticizing the performances from Stevenson, but I did give him props for the Joet Gonzalez fight. I'll give him props for the defense. He's not a runner. That's for sure. He's not a ringer though. It's just he could do a little bit more, man. A little bit more pressure, a couple of more. I mean, look at Crawford. He could, if he wanted to, like he did in the Postal fight, just run around the ring. But he chooses not to. When he sees he's got a guy outmatched, guess what? He goes for the kill. That's why I respect Crawford. Shakur Stevenson.
Chief brought up a good point though. It's a very similar style. Just when he does go in, if he goes in any time too early with his chin, he winds up getting Gamboa. Gamboa winds up clipping him on. He comes in with his head chinned up too high. He almost too cautious.
Yeah,
very similar.
Hey, by the way, are you in Jackie Treehorn's house? It kind of looked like that, Pete.
I stole this house. Like Axel Foley.
You got the family tight. You got the family tight in the basement. You're spitting beer on them like that guy in the orange suit.
I came over. Honestly, I drove over here like a fucking bank robber because I thought the place would be empty, so I could get on the show and talk. Did you hear it when I first opened my mic? How fucking 20 people in here. It was like an airport.
Remember that scene in Unbreakable? Remember that scene in Unbreakable with Bruce Willis where there's the sanitation worker. He goes into a house and he kidnaps the family and ties them up in the basement and he kills the mother, kills the father, the mother. He bangs the corpse. You guys remember that scene, or you don't know what that?
I swear to God, never seen the movie.
You should.
I never saw that movie either. Yeah.
Oh, it's a good movie, man. It's better than The Sixth Sense. Well, actually, I've never really seen The Sixth Sense all that much. But anyway, all right. So you know what? Jimmy brought up a good point. Because we're nearing the end here. Let's go around the panel and take predictions
of life.
Gonzalo, go ahead. What's your prediction for Saturday between Herring and Stevenson, or Stevenson and Herring, I should say? All right, Gonzalo's telling me to go fuck myself. Jimmy, you go ahead.
Thinking about
it. I'm going Stevenson, unanimous decision.
Okay.
Yes.
LT.
I'm going Herring, KO.
No, it's not what you want to happen. It's what do you think will actually happen.
What I think it's gonna happen? Probably Shakur, man. UD, man.
I'm going LT, wasted and totally incapacitated by the 6th round of the fight.
yeah, man, I got Shakur, UD. That's the most probable. Well, I also see it Herring, man. Herring UD, man, because I know he's gonna bring that fire, man. I know he's gonna come in prepared. I mean, I trust on his corner, Bomac. So yeah, man.
All right, so
which one? Come on, make a pick, LT.
He said
I want to hear LT talking to his bookie. I don't know. You know what?
Yeah, listen, LT, you're not talking to your bookie Flacco over here. You got to make a pick, man. So.
So, what are the betting odds right now, Flacco?
What is
What
your
are the
pick,
betting
Elton?
odds, Flacco? My pick. If I had to put money on it, fuck, man.
The guy's got the pencil in his hand. He's waiting. Go ahead,
man. It's because, look, man. Man, this Bomac is gonna do a great job. He did a great job training this guy this time. I mean, Shakur's not under Bomac anymore, not on this fight, because I know in several fights he was with Bomac, but not this time. So I'm going with Herring, man. I'm going with Herring UD. But best possible scenario for me would be Herring KO, man.
Herring UD is your final answer. Write that down. Can you imagine a bookie night of the Super Bowl trying to take bets from an LT's holding up the phone and his phone's beeping and beeping, call waiting. Tampa Bay looks good, but Kansas City, I don't know. They got Mahomes, but you know what? Brady, but he's 42. You know what? The guy's
best gamble is...
Man, I got Herring for the upset, man.
All right.
That's what I got.
Best gamble to completely put the emotions out of it. You bet with your brain.
I know.
Not with your heart. I end up betting a lot of times with my heart, and it fucks me up. That's why I don't gamble.
Yeah, I mean, I got you, man. If I were, I look at all the possibilities and I can't pick one. That's my problem sometimes. Pete, what's your prediction?
Most bookies don't want to sit there and listen to you chew it up with your. You know what I'm saying? It's more funny for the bookie. I want to see a bookie get his balls busted. I'm going to give you Kuhn's number. That's my bookie, Kuhn. I'd like you to call up as a new client. I'll vouch for you.
What do you want? What's your bet?
Yeah. Who is this guy you got me hooked up with, LT, man? This guy never makes his fucking mind up, man. I don't know.
Listens to you for 5 minutes and then he goes,
he's a heavyweight.
Hey, buddy, I got a lot of things to do. What do you want?
LT, are you down for that? He's a heavyweight.
He's not going to just don't get him started. Pete, what's your pick, man?
Yeah, what's your pick, Pete?
You're rambling on, man.
Yeah. Shakur Stevens. And I'm going to tell you something right now. He's going to stop this guy.
Oh.
He's been listening to BDA's show.
No way.
He's been listening intently to BDA's show. He's probably a member, whatever you want to call it, the membership. All right. He's totally certified BDA listener. He understands you're disappointed in him. He therefore scheduled a short rest and a quick fight. Who is it? Harry? Get him in here. He's out of here in the 10th round. Stoppage.
Something tells me Pete's
bold statement.
Check it out on ESPN Plus. Don't worry about college football.
Something tells me Pete's making fun of me.
Plus 1,500.
Being serious.
Plus 1,500.
For any money, bet if you want a summer home. You want a summer home? Bet on Shakur Stevens stoppage, 10th round.
Recognize. What's your pick?
Yeah, man. I have a feeling that this is going to be a good fight. I think Shakur Stevenson is he's gonna be pushed. I think that Jamel Herring might fall apart in the end. I'm going UD, Shakur Stevenson, and he's gonna get a knockdown in the later rounds. He's gonna get a knockdown. He's gonna get hurt too in this fight. He's gonna get caught with some shit. They're both counter punchers, right? You might see Herring coming forward and maybe land like a counter punch, uppercut, something like that gets Shakur Stevens' attention, but Herring leaves his chin out there a little bit too long, gets caught with something, gets dropped. I got Herring, unanimous decision.
All right.
Put me down. Put me down, Coons.
Hey, Coon, give me well, I don't know, though.
Hey, Gonzalo.
Put me down.
I see Gonzalo's there. Gonzalo, what's your prediction?
Yeah, I'm going to pick Shakur Stevenson in the close fight. Not necessarily I'll say 7-5. A unanimous decision.
All right. And what does Mateo say?
Mateo got, I don't know, he's got Jamel Herring.
I saw him shadowboxing there. He's looking healthy, man.
Yeah. He's looking good.
Nice.
Thanks, BD.
No, thank you, man. Well, listen, we got it all here, man. I'm gonna go against the fuck. See, now I'm overthinking it because for some reason I feel like maybe Stevenson doesn't really have that heart in him, and maybe Herring. I mean, think about it. Herring was over there in. Apparently, people are saying he wasn't in Iraq.
I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
Listen,
stop him.
Listen, he was in Afghanistan.
He lost to Dennis. Remember the Russian kid he lost to?
Yeah, but here's the thing. here's the thing: Shaifikov, he's got Mongolian genes. He's got heart. He's got heart. Shakur Stevenson, all the skills in the world. I don't think he's got heart.
He's got hot.
But he's got fucking youth. He's got speed and accuracy.
You know what, Jimmy? You said the brain, pick with the brain. I'm going to go ahead and follow your advice. I'm going to go with my brain, my powerful brain. And I'm going to go ahead and say Shakur Stevenson, rather, unanimous decision. And I think he's actually going to look better than he did against Nakatalia, or whatever the guy's name was. Nakatalia. Hotel Rwanda. That's what I'm going to call him from now on. All right, so listen, we got...
Yeah, these guys' names suck, man. It's good we give them nicknames.
I call him
this guy's names. Fucking Uncle
Horrible.
Pete, man. You would not do well in Canada, man. With all the weird names we got over here.
I would do fine, but man, even if you got a funky French name, you know your name sucks.
But it's not even the French names. It's we got Afghanistan, people from Afghanistan. We got people from Morocco, Africans. I mean, just the names will drive you nuts, man. Not to mention all the Hispanics that are here now.
That's hand power right there. They got here from Afghanistan. They hung onto that plane, hung onto the landing gear all the way here.
Well,
the thing about it is, yeah, these. I hope Shakur puts himself into more exposure, even if he does take a knockdown. I hope he goes for it.
Well, listen, I got the predictions down. Hopefully, it's a nice little fight. Again, go in there with low expectation, fellas. Don't go in there expecting a competitive affair where both guys are trading knockdowns. Nah, go in there expecting Shakur Stevenson to essentially outbox his opponent. Pretty repetitive fight, and that way you will not be angry. You will not be angry.
Yeah, it's on the fight poster. Save your expectations for the Canelo undercard.
That's right. Save your heart palpitations for the cocaine you're gonna do after the fight. All right, that's my advice.
For the call girl you're gonna invite over blind.
Did you guys talk about Did you guys discuss that earlier? I know you're getting off now, but I didn't know I missed the hour. Did you guys talk about they announced the undercard for Canelo Plant? Wow,
no.
That's horrible,
What do you got?
Boy.
Barnbanger?
I don't know. I don't recognize any of the fucking dudes.
But wait a minute, I gotta step in because usually there's been good undercards, and then you guys go, that's a shit card. What is it? Tell us the names.
I'm literally telling you. I don't. Let me get a fight because I really don't know these motherfuckers.
Well, let me bring it up.
Open the phone book. Just start reading names out of the phone book.
All right, hold on a second. Maybe I can find it here on ESPN. It's November the 6th, right? All right, here we go. Oh boy, I think Jim is right. Anthony Durrell versus Marcos Hernandez.
Yeah.
Ray Vargas versus Leonardo. Okay, I recognize Durrell and Vargas, but Marcos Hernandez, who the fuck is this dude?
Great fighter.
He cuts my lawn.
Both completely fucking Vargas and the other and Durrell completely past their fucking prime. Absolute fucking. I mean, just yeah. What do you think though? Pretty bad.
Save your expectations. For the blonde, you're gonna order at the end of the night, and she's gonna come back Spanish with the blonde wig on. You're gonna say, "I said blonde, not fake."
You're not
blonde.
turning her away.
This is the guy.
You're not turning her away either way.
This is the guy that Durrell. This is the guy that Durrell is fighting. Marcos Hernandez, 15 wins, 3 knockouts, 4 losses.
He didn't tell me that's what he was doing. He asked me for time off.
Do you know what that is, right? It's at 168, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's just they're feeding him to somebody. They're just trying to string him along with some more wins and feed him to. I don't know. They can't give him to. Didn't Benavidez already beat him from fucking pillar to post? If he hasn't, he's gonna. That'll be the next one they feed to Benavidez.
Now, I will say this though. I will say this. This guy Marcos Hernandez in his last fight he beat an undefeated guy. So this is
3 knockouts.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is sometimes you look at a guy's record, but you gotta watch the fight. So I want to see how he looked against this Resendiz, because if this guy's the second coming of Salvador Sanchez, then maybe it's the performance that counts. I know I'm being a little bit too optimistic. I know I'm being optimistic.
You're an idiot.
I know.
Anyway, I said Asian, not Blasian. Why you send me this Blasian girl? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
All right, and the guy that Ray
come
Vargas.
anyway. Who cares?
The guy that real quick. The guy that
Oh,
Vargas is fighting is Leonardo Baez. 21 wins, 12 knockouts, 4 losses. 3 of those losses by knockout, by stoppage, and he's on a 3-fight winning streak. But it's against guys that I could probably beat. Look at those records: 3 wins, 36 losses. 16 wins, 19 losses, 5 wins, 27 losses. So, yeah.
How much that pay-per-view? $75, $80? What is
Probably.
that gonna be?
Jimmy, is this a case of them spending all their money on the main event and they don't have anything left over for a decent undercard? Or
On one guy in the main event.
That's exactly what it is, BDA. They dumped all their money into the paying Canelo his $40 million guaranteed and Plant his $10 million. So there's $50 million. So they have nothing. I mean, I think somebody tweeted out Darrell's getting 100,000 or 150,000 or something.
Jeez, that's
good. They're not paying these guys anything. The rest of them next to nothing. I mean,
and by the way, keep in
mind
mind that this card is going up against a UFC's card that apparently is very strong. All right, so this is the fight that they're expecting Mexicans are going to pay. See, that's the thing. Now they're overestimating the Mexican market, thinking, oh yeah, the Mexicans, they'll pay for anything. This card sucks, and they're going up against a UFC card that everyone's saying is one of the best of the year. So what are they expecting? I don't understand.
What's
they want Canelo to carry the whole card, man.
Yeah, exactly. What is the date on that fight? I'm sorry. Is that Cinco de Mayo?
No, that's November the 6th.
November 6th.
I'm sorry. No.
Close enough,
Is that Mexican Independence?
No, it's you ever heard of the 6th of Noviembre? You ever heard of that one?
No.
Yeah, it's a new holiday.
I wasn't cracking the joke. I was saying listen to LT. Jackal.
Caving in Plant's face. That's a brand new holiday.
Yeah.
When is Mexican Independence Day?
November 6th.
Is that when he's fighting?
September.
It's September, man.
Is that when he's fighting or not?
Yeah, Pete. He's fighting in September. He's fighting this coming September, man. That's when he's fighting. All right, listen.
You never know.
Yeah,
Mexican Independence Day is whenever Canelo fights.
That's right.
All I'm saying is, he does do major numbers in Mexico, and from what I understand, I mean, the thing about Canelo is that the numbers that Jimmy mentioned is that confirmed, Jimmy? What you just said? What, the 40?
Pete, what are you doing this on purpose, man? Where I say, okay,
I'm sorry. Yes, it's confirmed. 40 million.
I apologize, guys.
Pete always does this. I say we got to go, and then he starts bringing up something. You want to go
not
back
on
to talking
purpose,
about
and I do apologize.
You want to go back to talking about the forearms and the hands.
So, just call Coons. Put it in. Tell him to put it in for you. That's all. Okay, 1,500. Plus
Listen,
1,500.
Coons is a good guy. I'm not gonna let you disrespect the dude. All right?
No offense. Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. I'm kidding, Kato. I'm kidding. What was I gonna say? But yeah, listen. I got your predictions down, fellas. We'll see who's right. LT went with the long shot.
The upset. He's the what is it? The lone wolf. That's him.
Yes, sir.
El Coyote.
That's what's up.
The lone coyote.
Keeping it real.
That's right. All right. Well, listen, fellas. Thanks again for joining us, everybody. Pete, recognize LT, Jimmy, Gonzalo.
Jimmy.
Chief was here as well.
Hey, man, muchas gracias. Thank you a lot for having me over, man. Muchas gracias.
No hay de qué.
Everybody
else. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be... Oh, who said that? Hey, don't forget to check out the suicide streams. I'm going to be... Check out the Discord for the suicide streams. Check out Discord. It's right now that it's like Biden's America. The Discord is like Joe Biden's America. Everyone's welcome. Open borders. We got Haitians, Guatemalans, everybody in there. So come on.
Everybody, papa.
Yeah. So come on in. I'll put the link there for the suicide stream so we can keep making fun of the fucking.
Let's go, Brandon.
Breaking the truce. Yeah, let's go, Brandon. let's go, Brandon's a pig. And that's about it, fellas. Listen, thanks again to everybody that donated the super chat, everybody that called in, everybody in the chat, Ed Perez, Tony Boswell. Shout out to Tony Boswell. What about me? Black Lomachenko, the Yes, the Race Card, Epadokua, Iceman, Floyd 972, Felipe Percha. Shout out to Felipe. And that's about it, fellas. Thanks again. Catch you on the next one.
100% X.
Oh, yeah, 100% X. Yes, indeed. Take it easy, fellas.
Haitian infestation. See ya.
Oh, come on. Oh, my God.
You like that, huh?
Haitian infestation.